ran away. And the poor baby deer could not go. It didn't know who is the mother, where to go. So it just stayed around the ashram with the Bharata. So every day, he used to sit and meditate. The deer will go like that. Just eat something. If not, he's meditating. He will come and sit next to him. He'll just say pat and say go. Again, he'll come back, sit in his lap. This time he'll say come on. He'll just pick some grass and say okay, eat it, go, go, go. That's all. Is it anything wrong in that? But without his knowledge, he developed an attachment to the deer. Because there is a forest, no, nothing known, no human beings, no friends, no human beings, only the deer. Without his knowledge, he developed an attachment to the deer. And finally, the last minute came for him. You know what Lord Krishna said? Antakale chamamiva smaran mukva kalevaram yak prayati samadbhavam yati nastya samshaya. Only if you think of Hari, Hari, Hari in the last minute, and your soul leaves the body, then only salvation. If not, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam chayan chante kalevaram tam tame vaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavikaha. You know why you are born as a boy? Why? Very simple. In your previous life, you were there attached to a male form. Could be your husband, could be your father, could be your brother, could be your son. In the last minute, you thought about a male form. Your luck is good. You are supposed to be a human being. You became a male human being. You know why you are born as a god? Same thing. In your previous birth, you were attached to a female form in the last minute. It could be your wife, it could be your mother, it could be your daughter, it could be your sister. Because your luck is good, you are supposed to be a human being, you became a female human being. If his luck is bad, he could have become a male pig, male donkey, male cat, male dog. So the attachment is the biggest problem for us. The king was attached to the deer. In the last minute, what all his thoughts were? Oh, I am dying, I am leaving. Same time the deer came and sat in his lap. As usual, he patted. The mind thought, poor deer, I am leaving. He thought of the deer left. Guess what? All the meditation he did, all the prayers he did, in spite of that, he didn't get salvation. Because he did not think of Krishna in the last minute. He thought about the deer. He became a deer in the next life. But because of the meditation he did, even though he became a deer, he could remember the past, previous life. He thought, what a stupid thing I did. I left my kingdom, my queen, my money, my servants, everything, only to think about Krishna and attain salvation. But what did I end up with? What the deer? And how did I get attached to that? And how come I thought about the deer? He became a deer. That time after that, he thought, no, this is not for me, this is not for me, this is not for me. After some time, even the deer is dead. Then he is born again as a human being. This time he remembered three births. Present birth as a human being. The previous birth as a deer. The previous birth to that as a king. Now he thinks attachments are bad. I was a king, then I became a deer, now a human being. No more attachments. He was not attached to the father. He was not attached to the mother. He was not attached to the brothers. No one. Not even to food. Not even to money. He was behaving like a retarded child. Like a child with autism. Even though he can see, he pretended as though he cannot see. Even though he can hear, he pretended as though he is deaf. Even though he can speak, he pretended as though he is dumb. Just tried to control himself. Because the minute I start talking to her, after 6 months of talking, who knows, I may be attached to her. The minute I keep on looking at something, who knows, I may get attached to her. So, cut off completely, was remaining like that. In that life, he focused only on Krishna and got salvation. You understand? You got the answer for your question? So, if you keep a dog in your house as a pet, if you keep a dog in your house as a pet, your pet dog will come and sit in your lap sometimes. You know, you have seen in this country, there are some people who sleep with their dog. The dog will also come and jump onto your bed. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
The dog will nicely come and jump onto your sofa. And what you do? You cuddle your dog. You pet that. You give a biscuit. Then you say, sweetie, are you tired? Are you tired? Did you eat? That's it. This conversation will go on and on and on. And if unfortunately, if your dog comes and sits next to you, you know what you will become next time?
Dog.
Now you choose whether you want, as I said, you want a dog or you want a Krishna. You choose. I'm not saying having a dog as if it is bad. Then why don't you at least keep a parrot and teach it Krishna, Krishna, Krishna? Parrot will repeat whatever you say, right? Why don't, if you are that much interested, but don't put it in a cage. Allow it to fly, allow it to come there. But only teach it Krishna, 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 Krishna. It will repeat Krishna, 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 Krishna. Even if you forget to think of Krishna, it will repeat Krishna, Krishna in your last minute.
You said you want a parrot now.
You want a parrot now. Provided you teach that parrot Krishna, Krishna. But if you teach that parrot, Elizabeth Taylor, you don't talk about Elizabeth Taylor only. Okay? If you teach that some heroine name, some hero name, you will keep on that one and you will become that one only, right? So you should be very careful, not only having a pet, but teaching it what actually you want to hear. So, now you tell me, you want to become a dog in the next life?
No, I think I'm good.
You're good with what, to have a dog or not to have a dog?
Not have a dog.
Not to have a dog. Very easy. Your problem is solved. Give them a choice. Don't force them. No, you should not have. They will never listen. Their age is like that. The teenage is like that. You are also like that in your teenage. We are all like that. We are all like that. We have that kind of attachments. It's not anybody's fault, okay? It is the fault of the chemistry. It is the fault of the hormones. It is the fault of the human body, okay? Got it? Therefore, whether you attach yourself to a dog or you attach yourself to God, reverse it, dog, reverse it, God. Is your choice. So why don't you keep a pet as a Krishna? Ask your daddy. There are Krishna stuffed dolls, right? Have a big stuffed Krishna doll. Keep him next to you in your room. You can put him in your bed. You can put him in a sofa. You can take him wherever you want. At least that way you will think of Krishna, 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 Krishna. You go to school. When you come back, ask your mom, Mom, did you feed my Krishna? Mom, did you put my Krishna for the afternoon nap? Ask it. At least that way you are thinking of Krishna. Next question. One problem solved. Go ahead, my next question. How come?
Yeah,
You are the only one who has power.
Okay.
You simply looked at them and said, looks like they all came down and sat on the floor, right? That's the power of your eyes. Go ahead, next question.
Why are there no female gurus?
Why not?
Why there are no female gurus?
Who said there are no female gurus?
There are.
So the question is, do you want to become a guru? If that is the case, nothing wrong. But to become a teacher, you should know the subject, right? If not, your students will make fun of you. Right? Suppose the teacher is there in a classroom, bad teacher, doesn't know how to explain. You know what you people do, right? You take your papers, fold them into a plate, you throw on the teacher. By the time the teacher comes, you write on the blackboard, right? Some stupid dog or something say, question mark, my teacher. So if you are qualified, if you qualify yourself with the scriptures, and if you can explain them, there is nothing wrong. Even in the Upanishads, there is a great lady called Maitreyi. There is another great lady called Gargi. They were all female teachers. Forget about all those people, Upanishad time, Gargi, Maitreyi, etc. What about Mirabai? You don't have to be physically a teacher. You know how many people sing Mira Bhajans every day? There's nothing wrong. But are you ready to go through the discipline? First, you have to go through the discipline. Once you become a spiritual person, you had breakfast?
Yes.
You had morning snack? 11 o'clock after no snack. Afternoon lunch. 4 o'clock again snack. Night dinner. Right? Now, at what age you want to become a teacher, tell me? Can you practice only one meal a day? Eka bhukto bhavet yogi. Vibhukto bhavet bhogi. Bahubhukto bhavet rogi. If you want to practice a spiritual life, be prepared to eat only one meal a day. One good solid meal a day. No snacking, etc. In between. If you are taking 2 times as full meals per day, that means you want to enjoy life. Those who want to enjoy life, 2 meals a day. And if you are eating 3-4 times a day, you will become sick very soon. You will become a patient. Rogi means patient. So yogi, bhogi, rogi. You decide which one you want to be. So the first thing is you have to control your food. To practice a spiritual life, ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi is the Upanishad Vachya. Unless the food that you eat is pure, your mind will never become pure. First thing, can you stop taking all kinds of non-veg, whether you like it or not? The minute you start eating non-veg, no, you are far away from spiritual life. That's why Krishna says, ahimsa samata tushtihi ahimsa ahimsa. Non-violence is the first and the foremost principle. Go ahead. Second thing, even if you are a vegetarian, you cannot eat any vegetable or something that you cannot offer to Krishna.
So no onion.
If you cannot offer to Krishna, you cannot eat it. That means no onions, no garlic in your food. Can you do that? Mm-hmm. The minute you say become a vegetarian, right? 50% of the population will say, I don't want this religious life. I am okay to become a cat or a dog or a snake or a pig in the next life. But I don't want spiritual life. Number 1. And if you say no onion, no garlic in your food, what is the answer, sir? 99% will say, right? 99% of the human beings will say, I don't want this kind of spiritual life. I will find some other god where I can eat whatever they want. Because, these days, there are so many new gods in the market, right? So if you go to that kind of god, that kind of, spiritual gurus, etc., they won't even give you this kind of restrictions in the very beginning itself. The minute your food is not pure, if you cannot offer to Krishna, you cannot eat it, period. Simple blind rule. Can't offer to Krishna, can't eat it. Ask anyone of you, sir, you went to so many temples right in your lifetime. Have you seen in any orthodox, real religious temple, do they offer chicken, biryani, meat, etc.? Have you seen onion sambar, garlic rasam, masala, etc. offered to any Bhagavan in the orthodox temples? Simple. You cannot offer to Krishna, you cannot eat. Can you control your food habits?
Yes.
Number 3. Hindi जानता ना?
हाँ.
तो practice कर सकता है मेरे तो गिरधर गोपाल. You cannot stop it. दूसरा में कोई भी. It doesn't stop with मेरे तो गिरधर गोपाल. It must extend immediately. दूसरा में कोई. Can you do that? Why? What happened? मेरे तो गिरधर गोपाल दूसरा में कोई. कर सकता है. Then you want to say something. Can learn Bhagavad Gita. Why not? You join us every day, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Celebrate. You don't even have to come to me. You stay in your house. We do the entire Bhagavad Gita Parayanam, all 700 verses for the past 10 years. Every day. Even today we are going to do it. In the beginning you won't understand. As they are chanting, you just follow line by line. After 3 months, you'll be able to chant. After learning Bhagavad Gita, can you learn the meaning of it? Yes, sir. I thought you have a question. You raise your finger. So there is nothing wrong. Ladies also can, but a lady cannot become a sannyasi. You can live like a sannyasi if you really want to follow real orthodox dharma. Sannyas ashrama is restricted only to menfolk, and only to menfolk again with a yajñopavitam, with a sacred thread, according to dharma. If you want to say, I want to become my own way, no problem. That's a different matter. But according to the Vedic dharma, only a person who can do Gayatri Upasana every day, even after sannyasam. That means, this case, you cannot have a sacred thread once you are married, once you have 4 children. That is not Vedic dharma. You should go through the Upanayana Samskaram before your marriage. Do Gayatri Japam every day, 3 times a day, Sandhya Vandanam. Then go through married life. Then you can renounce. But a woman, there is no yajñapavitam for, there is no sacred thread for you. Go ahead. Why?
Yeah, why is that women cannot have a... I think I am on that same note where
You are
he
the
was
same group.
asking.
Same group.
Why cannot...
Hey guys, you move aside. Amma, can you get up and come next?
I will definitely do that.
I can do dragging or singing stuff. Now the question is, you said why a woman cannot become a sannyasi? Or why a woman cannot have yajñapavitam? Got it?
More so on the sannyasi note, not, I think I can follow
Sacred
the
thread.
yajna.
Sacred thread. Can you remove your shirt?
No.
You cannot become as simple as that. Not that I am interested in looking at you. If you want to have yajñopavitam, the sacred thread, at that time of making the yajñopavitam, the sacred thread ceremony, even not only that, according to orthodox temple rules, a woman cannot even become a priest. You can do every other service to Krishna. Don't think only becoming a priest is service to Krishna. Your cooking for Krishna is equally service to Krishna. Your putting all the rangoli in front of Krishna temple is also service to Krishna. Your collecting all the vegetables is also service to Krishna. Your nice making the flower garlands, tulsi garlands is also service to Krishna. But to become a priest inside the Garbhagruham to serve Krishna, while serving Krishna, your upper portion of the body above the navel, you should not have any clothes. Got your answer? Since you cannot do that because of physical restrictions, it is restricted. Yajñopavitam is only for men. As simple as that. But nothing bars you from living like a sannyasi. Nothing bars you from, no offenses. Again, hello, would be guru. Can I ask you a question? How many dresses you have? 20, 30, 50? Ask your mom how many saris she has. Even though she has 94 saris, she will bug her husband. Diwali is coming. Are you not buying a sari? My birthday is coming. Are you not buying a sari? Marriage day is coming. Are you not buying a sari? She has already 94 saris. She is wearing them only hardly once a week or so, or whenever there is a puja or so. Rest of the time, right? Only night gown. Otherwise, salwar kameez, otherwise jeans pant, that's all, right? But in spite of that, once you want to become a guru, you didn't tell me how many dresses you have. 40, 50, 100? Huh? The Lord. Can you practice now? Bring all of them. Distribute everyone. You should stick only to 3 dresses. If you want to become a guru, that's why I said how many dresses. If you want to become a guru, you can only have 3 pieces of dress, nothing more than that. One to wear, another one to wash and dry, so that again when you take back, you make ready. By any chance in winter or rainy season, if the second pair is not getting dried up for you to wear, then as a spare, the 3rd pair. Other than 3 pairs of clothes, you cannot have. Are you still ready to become a guru? Are you still ready to become a guru? Back off, right? It's very simple. It's very simple. The question is, can you control all your desires? Can you control all your desires? You cannot control your desires? Sorry. Got it? Why a girl cannot become a priest? Because above the navel you should not cover your body. Why? Because as long as you have dehabhimanam, body consciousness, we are far away from God consciousness. The one requirement either to become a priest or to become a sannyasi is shed your body consciousness first. And even at age 70, 80, 90, it is still difficult for a woman to overcome the body consciousness. That's why they said, you be happy serving the Lord in other ways, let the men folk handle some religious services. Not that they want to discriminate. In spiritual life, there is no discrimination at all. It is only the physical comfort zone to which we can go or not.
So then, in the service of God, can you still attain the Lord, right? The supreme power, because ultimately, in my limited knowledge, what I see is the person who is very close to the God and serving and doing puja and all that has a lot more power to get connected to God very easily.
Who said that? There is a proverb in English. Closer to the temple, but far away from God. Near to the temple, but far away from God. Far away from temple, but closer to God. Still don't believe it? I'll tell you a small incident in our Vedic literature, which you cannot forget. There was a man who renounced everything. Renounced everything. When sitting there under a tree, just doing meditation, just to get away from the public, he went far away from the city. Somewhere in the outskirts of the city, sitting under a tree meditating. No offenses. You know, in the movies, etc., you see some ladies who are called public women. Their only job to entertain a lot of men and get money out of it. So generally in the good olden days, that kind of ladies used to live away from the village. So this man is there sitting under a tree doing his meditation. That lady is there about 200 feet away in an isolated house. Even though this man is there meditating, every half an hour he will open his eyes. Any new customer to her? Again meditate. Any new customer coming to her house? He is doing meditation. And whenever he finds a new customer going to that lady, he will take a small stone and keep it in front of him. That has become a hobby for him. A few years have gone by, these stones are becoming like this, like a small hillock. Every half an hour, that lady comes out of the house. She will do pranam to that Mahatmya. What an unfortunate life I am living. I have to sell my body to make a living. What a fortunate person he is. He is always there sitting and meditating. Right? Good. A big tsunami came, or big, a cyclone came. All the trees fell down. One tree fell down, he died. Another tree fell down on that tree, she also died. Same time. Messengers of God came. Was that public woman to heaven. Messengers of the God of death came. They were taking this sadhu to hell. He questioned, I am a sadhu. I did meditation throughout my life. Why are you taking me to hell? That lady is a public woman. How come she is getting an opportunity to go to heavens? You know what the reply? Sir, you are physically meditating, but mentally you are thinking how many customers are visiting that woman. Physically she is living in a very miserable condition, but spiritually she is always connected to a guru and to God. She deserves a place in heaven, not you. Never, never assume that a person who is going inside the Garbhagruham, doing direct service to God, touching him, bathing him, abhishek, dressing, archana, puja, arati, is a closer to God. Do not think the person who is doing other services, like sweeping the floor in a temple, making the garlands for Krishna, or preparing some prasad for the devotees, that devotee is far away from Krishna. No, not like that. It is not the physical service that you do. It is your mental attachment to Krishna in whatever you do that counts. Is it clear?
Pure intentions.
Yeah. Go ahead, next question.
I have two questions.
Yes, sir.
The book you have, is that written in Kannada? Or
Is it what?
The
Because these people wanted me to speak on Bhagavat. I was not sure whether they wanted me to speak in the book Bhagavat or the devotees Bhagavatas. So if they wanted me to speak on Bhagavat, I just got the book, that's all.
In what language is that?
This is in my mother tongue Telugu. The script is Sanskrit, but written in Telugu script, the entire Vedavyasa Bhagavata.
Thank you.
Go ahead, next question.
Second question. Is it possible to balance the contradictions that science and religion present? And follow-up question, is it possible to balance the contradictions of the religions out there?
If you don't mind, what is the contradiction?
Pretty much on the basis of belief, the belief of who God is, how to live life, how do you attain moksha. If you have a certain God, then you're excluded from making it to heaven. There's a lot of contradiction. I know Hinduism is more open to, and it's one of the oldest religions, but then science has the Big Bang theory, evolution of man. Every religion has a theory, multiple contradictions. Is it possible to balance it? Is it possible for everyone to live in harmony?
You don't mind, right?
No, please.
You don't mind if I say something that I'm bragging about myself, right? Okay, if you don't mind looking at me, what do you think was my academic qualification?
Probably highly educated.
What is that highly educated?
I think I heard, so I won't
you
guess.
heard? Oh, I see.
I have heard.
Yeah, what I am trying to say is, absolutely there are no contradictions. If this lady stopped her education with a 10th grade only, her knowledge of science is restricted to atoms are indivisible. But if she didn't stop with high school, she went to college level, she'll be taught, forget about your 10th grade physics or chemistry. Atoms are divisible, subatomic particles are there. But when she starts speaking to a 10th grade girl, hey, you are only 10th grade, atoms are indivisible for you, I did bachelor's, atoms are divisible, there's a contradiction. Contradiction is because of ignorance. She stopped her education with bachelor's level. Only atoms are divisible for her. Then that lady did her PhD. When she comes, they taught her, forget about your atoms, subatomic particles. Everything is electromagnetic forces that are there working. Unified theory that is there working. There is a controversy between them. Because we are all restricted to believing what little we know. If you can say the horizon, you just keep on extending. 10th grade, I'm not saying 10th grade is bad, but don't stop with 10th grade. But for a person with a 10th grade, the theory of a person at a bachelor's level is contradictory. But for the person who started with bachelor's, the person with a PhD level coming and saying that forget about even subatomic electrons, protons, something, or even gluons or muons or something, is something beyond that is contradictory. Contradiction comes because of ignorance. Next thing, Big Bang theory, etc. Okay. What is your Big Bang theory? Originally the whole universe was one. There was some kind of a unexplained explosion or something. It just became into many, many pieces. They start flying off. After flying off to some distance, there are the gravitational forces that are there coming into field. And those gravitational forces are keeping them in their own orbits. Simple question. I take some water. Shall I spoil your packet? Suppose, if I want to make this cup go round, it comes like this, it comes like this. At one point it has to be turned right. So the water inside has to fall down. Correct? The earth is round. The earth is spinning on its own orbit. Right? Then how come all the oceans that are there on the surface of the water, when the earth is spinning, how come the water is not falling down? For gravity it has to fall down. This is earth, spinning on its own axis. So spin it, right? Spin it. The water will fall down or not?
Yeah, but gravity comes from the center.
Gravity comes to attraction, to fall down.
Force.
How come when the earth is spinning, the water is not falling down?
It's attracted to the center of the earth, not the outside. So it's really just going to close in on the earth like a big blue circle. So it's not going to fall outside, it's going to fall inside. Like within the earth.
It won't fall outside, right? Gravity is working on this glass. I have no choice. Give me 1 second. I will not spin the whole thing. Okay, no gravity. Okay, gravity, only one drop. Now, earth, spinning. Ready?
But alright. But that's only because it's not attracted to the center. Let's say if that water was attracted only to the bottom.
What I'm saying is, even if it is the but there are other planets equally attracting. Other celestial objects. Gravity is not only for, do you know there is gravity on the moon also?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's less because it's smaller. The moon's smaller.
It is because the speed with which it is rotating, and the other forces that are there between the whole system. So the one single object, bottom line is, the Big Bang theory is one single object has split up into many pieces and is maintained in their own orbits or space. Same thing. Where is the contradiction? Atha purusho havai narayano kamayata praja sujayeti. There was only one Big Bang theory. Namely, the whole universe was there controlled only by one person, Narayana. Let there be creation. That's it. Immediately everything started splitting. Brahma came. Brahma wanted to create 4 Kumaras. They said, we don't want to. They went to Vaikuntham. Then Brahma got so angry. Anger came out from the center of the eyebrows. Rudra came. He started creation. You are not helping the nature. You better take rest. Brahma created other 10 Prajapatis. They started creating one big universe. Then it started a big bang, and everything came out in different pieces. So many universes came. But everything owes its origin to only one big piece. Here they call it one big piece. There they call it only one Narayana, that's all. That is why they say, Nishkalo, Niranjano, Nirvikalpo, Nirakhyataha, Shuddho Deva, Eko Narayana, Nadvitiyo Osti Kaschite. You know, when you do puja, you offer a flower to God, right? Or you offer some, sindur, red kukum or something at the feet of Mahavishnu and you do puja, right? Yes. You know with what finger you have to offer? Exactly this one, this finger. What do you call, what do you call this finger? Ring finger, because you are only worried about your engagement ring. So for you it is a ring finger. For you it is a ring finger. For me, what is this called? Anamika. Anamika means one without a name. One without a name. Afterwards, you keep on putting the rings, so it became ring finger for you. But before putting the ring, show me your fingers. He doesn't have a ring. So does it mean that he doesn't have the finger? He has the finger. So, Anamika, how that came as Anamika? Because in the Big Bang Theory, it says, who is there? The Supreme Lord. Nishkalo, Niranjano, Nirvikalpo, Nirachakaha, Shuddho Deva, Eko Narayana, only one Narayana. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anamika. It became Anamika. No name. Eko Narayana. Anyone else? Any second person we can qualify? Anyone else? No. Anamika. When you do the puja to offer Bhagavan a flower or something you're offering, offer like a Anamika. Offer that you are the most insignificant person before the Supreme Lord. You understand? So there's practically no controversy.
Even amongst religions?
Very simple. You know the Indian almanac called the Panchang. Indian almanac. You know, when is the full moon day, when is the new moon day, no? When will the eclipses happen, etc. Right? The people who do the calculations in India, they never went to college. They never studied physics. They never studied Kepler's laws of planetary motion. For them everything is circular orbit only. They don't even know elliptical orbits. Come to NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. They studied physics. They calculate solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, thinking sun is the center of the entire solar system. All planets go around the sun. Earth is also a planet. Moon is not a planet. Moon is a satellite. Correct? Now come to the orthodox people who calculate the almanac. For them, sun is also a planet. Moon is also a planet. And they don't even take Earth as a planet. In the almanac that they calculate only from the motion of sun, moon, then Mars, then Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, right? So these are the principal 7 planets. There is no Earth for them. But sun is not a planet, you find. Sun is the center of the solar system. And moon is not a planet. Moon is a satellite. Every year, every eclipse day, all the scientists in NASA, they keep on scratching their head. How come we struggle so much with our fastest computers to calculate the solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, accurate to the minute? How come these Indians who never studied physics, who never went to college, who never had any idea of elliptical orbits, and that too with all stupid assumptions, like the sun is also a planet, that moon is also a planet, not even having Earth in the planetary system, how come they are also calculating exactly to the same minute? Only thing is, the process of calculation is different, that's all. Therefore, there is no controversy between science and religion. The one and the only one is, you know what is the inside word in NASA? The inside word in NASA even today, even though they calculate, every year they will also get one Indian almanac and also keep in NASA a reference library to see is there going to be any difference of even 1 minute between our calculation and the Panditji calculation in India. And they could not find. And it's still a mystery for them. Really I'm telling you. You do not know because you had never been to India, you never had direct contact with the priests who calculate that almanac, etc. You ask any of these people who are born and brought up in India, they know how accurate they calculate and that lunar eclipse, solar eclipse exactly on that particular day. Therefore, there is no controversy. Their method of calculation, the initial assumptions are different in one system, different in another system. When it comes to astronomical phenomena, they are exactly the same, almost up to the minute. Almost up to the minute. So there are no controversies. So if you stop with the 10th grade, everything looks like a controversy to you. If you stop with bachelor's, it still looks controversial. If you keep going to a PhD, beyond PhD, etc., there are no controversial things. Got it? Is that clear for you, sir? So it all depends on how far you want to stretch yourself. You are comfortable with, I'm not saying if you are only with the 10th grade, you are not qualified to talk. For your level, 10th grade is okay, that's all. But for his level, 10th grade, he is not happy with it. He wants to go to that level. But for her level, she is not happy. She wants to go to the next level. It all depends on to what level you want to go. And for knowledge, sky is the limit. For knowledge, sky is the limit. Go ahead.
One question, Prabhuji.
Ji.
Lord Krishna married Rukmani, but he is always seen with Radha. When other people, religious people ask that question, how to answer that?
Is your wife here next to you?
No, she's not.
I'm sorry. Am I anybody who is a wife and husband here? No. No, sit next to him. Sit. Just sit next to him. She is the wife, right, sir?
Yes.
She is the wife, right?
Yes.
You ask her. In her heart of heart, she is having only one puzzling question always. You know what is that? Is my husband having any other girlfriend? You ask her, they are married for 20 years. 16 years. They are married for 16 years. They are married for 16 years, right?
I'm telling you not to open up.
I'm not trying to open a Pandora's box and create a rift between them. But she knows. Because maybe he is her cousin or something, or distant family friend or relative. So she knows when they were there in the high school. This guy had a crush on a girl in his 10th grade or 11th grade. And she knows it. Even after 16 years of marriage, the unanswered question that is there in her mind is this fellow still having a crush on that girl in the 10th grade? As simple as that. Rukmani is the wife, none other than Mahavishnu. Rukmani never had that kind of a feeling. She is none other than Mahavishnu. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the same as Narayana. Radha is the purest of the purest form of a devotee. How an individual soul, a Jeevatma, craves to get united with Paramatma. Got it? Because we are the Jeevatmas trying to be closer to Krishna. So the concept of Radha is easy for us to get attracted. The minute she is a wife, I'm not saying she doesn't love her husband. The minute she is a wife, her mind is there in a different way of thinking. Possessiveness. Whereas if she is Radha, there is no possessiveness. There is only submissiveness. You know, there is a difference between possessiveness and submissiveness. Possessiveness. Mera pati hai, right? In submissiveness, my Lord. Therefore, it is the Jeevatmas that are able to connect to Krishna more in the Radha Tattva. Whereas in the case of Rukmani, the people who follow the path of Sharanagati, they follow the Tattva of Mahavishnu only. Got it? Therefore, people are attracted more of a Jeevatma craving to get united with Paramatma. So the Gopika Tattva is more appealing to them. That doesn't mean there are people who do not worship Mahavishnu. They worship Mahavishnu because when they worship Mahavishnu, they don't look at her as the wife of Krishna. They look at her as a mother. They look at Mahalakshmi as our mother. So the attachment to a mother is different from the attachment between Krishna and Radha. The Jivatmas are more attracted. The Gopikas way. That's why they worship Radha. But according to Dharma or according to the scriptures, Krishna never married Radha. Krishna never married any of the Gopikas. And for the simplest reason, in the entire Bhagavatam, in the entire Vishnu Purana, even the name Radha doesn't even appear. They only said 16,000 Gopikas. And the popular names, Lalita, Vishakha, Tungavidya, Rangadevi, like that. Even the name Radha doesn't appear in the entire Bhagavatam. That doesn't mean Radha is not there. There are 16,000 Gopikas. And the most famous one are the one that craved. No Jivatma can ever have perfection. So the 99% perfection of attachment to Krishna went to Radha. That doesn't mean the others are not attracted. They have 98%, 97%, 96%. Once you cross that 95, 96%, you know in the good olden days, elementary mathematics, 9.5 round off to 10, 9.6 round off to 10. Anything that crosses 0.5, you can round off to 10, correct? 9.5 is equal to 10. 9.6, if it is 9.4, you cannot round off. So all those Gopikas, between that 99.5, from 99.5 to 99.9, there are 16,000 Gopikas. Not that anyone is inferior to the other person. You're getting my point? From 99.5, if you secure 99.5, nobody will say she secured 99.5. They say she got 100%. Nobody will say she got 99.5. They say she got 100%. So from 99.5 to 99.99, there are 16,000 Gopikas. So Radha got 99.99. She got 99.51. They're almost the same. But if you look at that mathematical perspective, 99.99 is ahead of 99.51. That's all. That's the only difference. But all of them can be equal to 100. So there is no Gopika who is inferior to Radha. And Radha never felt like that. But since the Gopikas know they are 99.51, 99.52, and they know she is 99.99, so they respected her. That's what it is. So for us, what is most important is, can we follow the Gopika Tattva? Hey, you know Gopika Gita? Do you know Gopika Gita in Srimad Bhagavath?
I know.
You know, right? Do you want to sing? Jayati Tevikam Krishna Janmana Vraja. Go ahead. Are you singing or chanting? You want to sing or you want to chant?
He's singing.
Then sing like a song. Go ahead.
Jayati Tevikam Janmana Vraja.
Krishna. Jayati Tevikam Krishna Janmana Vraja. Shrayate Indira Krishna Shashvaratrahi. So, did you ever learn Gopika Gita, sir?
No, sir.
Why not? In Srimad Bhagavatam, of all the thousands of verses, Gopika Gita, those 20 verses, are considered to be the essence of the entire Bhagavatam, where the Gopikas did not study the Vedas. The Gopikas did not go to a formal school of education or anything. But they know, you remember? Nakhalu Gopika Krishna Nandano Bhavan Akhila Dehinam Krishna Antaratmadru Vikhana Sakito Krishna Vishwaguptaye Sakham Devan Krishna Sattvatam Kule. We are thinking Krishna is the little son of Yashoda. You know what the Gopika is saying? Krishna, We know very well you are not that little darling son of Yashoda. You are that Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana. You are the one who is there as Paramatma in the hearts of everyone. Na khalu gopika nandano bhavan. Acharyaji nam Krishna antaratmatra. We know you are the antaratma, you are the Paramatma in every jivatma. Vikhana sardhito Krishna vishwaguptaye. That Brahma came and begged you to wipe out all the evil forces on the planet Earth. Planet Earth, unable to bear the burden of the unfortunate kings who are demons in the grab of kings, went and begged Brahma. And that Brahma begged you to incarnate and reduce the burden of Mother Earth. Vikhana sardhito, Vikhana is Brahma. Vikhana sardhito Krishna vishwaguptaye. Sakhavude ivan Krishna satvatan kude. You have incarnated as a little boy in the lap of Yashoda. So where did Gopikas get this kind of a knowledge without even studying the Vedas or the Upanishads or anything? Where did they get? Yes, sir.
Their devotion to Lord Krishna?
No, something more than that. Do you mean to say she is not devoted? Do you mean to say she is not devoted, but she is not having that kind of knowledge? She is also a devotee of Krishna, no doubt about it. You are also a devotee of Krishna. Where did they get? Because they are the 16,000 Maharshis of Valmiki Ramayana. They are the 16,000 Maharshis. Ravana is such an arrogant fellow. He has only two weaknesses. One, for ladies. If he finds a beautiful lady, he must enjoy her. Even if she is married, even if she is somebody's wife, that's why he is a Rakshasa. Second thing, ego. I am the Supreme Lord. Out of fear, everybody agreed he is the Supreme Lord. But the Maharshis who are meditating, he went and threatened them, you agree I am the Supreme Lord? They just laughed at him and said, how can you be the Supreme Lord? You are a Jivatma, you are a Rakshasa. How can you be the Supreme Lord? Oh, you don't accept me as Supreme Lord, put them in the jail. 16,000 Maharshis were kept in the jail by Ravana. Finally, when Bhagavan Ramachandra came and killed Ravana, all the 16,000 Maharshis were let go. They got freedom. When they came out and saw the Supreme Lord Ramachandra, Bhagavan Sri Rama, you know what they prayed? Pumswam Mohana Rupaya Punya Shlokaya Mangalam. Rama, all these years we were doing meditation with only one goal. We don't want any physical happiness. We don't want any material comforts. We just want salvation. But Rama, after we saw you, we don't want that salvation. We don't want that salvation. We want to enjoy with you. That's what Humsvam Mohan Rupai. Bhagavan Sri Rama said, okay, stop it there. You are there in the physical body of a man. I am there in the physical body of a man. A man-to-man relationship is against the dharma. And he said, good luck next time. That good luck next time. That 16,000 Maharshis meditating for thousands of years. In the present Kali Yuga, we are the most unfortunate people who are very short-lived. Maximum we can live is 120 years. Maximum we can live 120 years. In the previous Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Krishna's time, they could live up to 1200 years. In the previous Yuga, Treta Yuga, when Lord Rama was there, they could live up to 120,000 years. The whole full lifespan during Rama's time was 120,000 years. Can't believe it? Sir, anybody who had late children? I know, he had a child at age 20, he doesn't know. Anybody who did not even have a child and had a child at age 50? When Dasharatha in Valmiki Ramayana, he had children. You know how old is Dasharatha? 60,000 years old. 60,000 years old was Dasharatha when he had children. How do you know? You know the very popular incident in the Valmiki Ramayana. Vishwamitra comes and is asking Dasharatha, send your Rama with me to protect my yajna. Then Dasharatha is just falling at the feet of Vishwamitra and begging him, Mahatma, how can I live without my Rama? For 60,000 years I did not have children and I was craving to have a child. My Rama is just born, 16 years old, 1/6. That means when Dasharatha had children, at 59,984 years, he had the child. 59,984. You can round up to 60,000, right?
Yeah.
Exactly the same. He says, I am 60,000 years old, Mahatma Vishwamitra. My Rama is hardly 16. Even the 16 years I did not spend with my Rama. Only first 8 years. Immediately 8th year, Vasishtha came, performed the sacred thread ceremony, took him to Gurukulam. 8 years in the Gurukulam. Yesterday evening was the graduation. Last night Rama came home. Now this morning you show up and say, send your Rama with me. How can I live without my Rama? So very simple. We live for 100 years. Age 50 he is having a child. No big deal, right? A middle-aged man having a child. As simple as that. Same thing, 120,000 years they can live. So 60,000. Middle-aged man having children. As simple as that. You got it?
Bachelor life is what, 30,000 years then?
Yes, sir.
So the bachelor's life 30,000 years like a
Those days they did not go by that. They could get, because if that was to be the case, no offenses. You know how old is Rama when he got married? According to him, remember he was calculating. We live for 120 years, so divide it to 4 segments. So first 30 years is, brahmacharya. So next 30 is grihasthashramam. So according to that, 120,000 years. So brahmacharya is for 30,000 years, and grihasthashramam not like that. You know why? You know at what age Rama got married? When he was 16. Rama was only 16. Vishwamitra came. Dasharatha refused to send. Vasishtha convinced him. Rama went with Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra's yajna is only for 7 days. After 7th day, Vishwamitra took Rama to Mithila, Shivadharmabhangam. Sita was only 12 years old at that time. And they got married. So Rama got married when he was 16. So Brahmacharyam is only until you get married. At what age is your choice? And Dasharatha lived for 60,000 years. After that, when Rama was sent to the forest by Kaikeyi, Dasharatha could not live even for 6 days. The 7th day morning he is found dead in the street. So the point is, those days they could live like that. Well, I'll come to you. Same way, in this present life, since we cannot live more than 120 years, so we cannot even imagine that they lived that long. So those Maharshis, they could live up to 100,000 years, 120,000 years. We live up to 100 years maximum. In that 100 years, suppose this man is a doctor. You know how many years he went to school? 5 years to primary school, 7 years to high school, 12 years, 4 years medical school, 16 years, 3 years residency, 19 years, fellowship another 2 years, 21 years of his precious 100 years he spent study. That means 1/5 of the time, 100 years, 20 years, right? 5 years primary school, 7 years high school, 12, 4 years medical school, 16, 3 years residency, 19. And some people do fellowship also, right? So 21 years, 1/5 of the time. Now go back to them. 100,000 years they used to live, 1/5 of the time. That's why in our Puranas, Maharshis were doing tapasya for 5,000 years, 10,000 years. Some people went up to 20,000 years. He stopped with high school. You went to college. She went to post-graduation. She went to PhD. So 20 years. So some people there, they meditated for 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 years like that. Some people more than that. So that kind of meditation those Maharshis did. And since Rama gave them a promise, good luck next time, they were reborn again as Gopikas. That is where they got all their knowledge, namely, Nakhalu Gopika Krishna Nandano Bhava. But spiritual knowledge will not come unless you have done your meditation in the right way. Compared to Dasharatha, Rama lived for a very short time. Rama was 16 when he got married. You remember how many years Rama lived on the planet Earth? I told you. How many?
All complete, 120,000?
Who? Rama? Who said that? I said just now you were sleeping. I said compared to Dasharatha, Rama spent very few years on the planet Earth. When you said Dasharatha lived 60,000, but say 120,000. It's okay, maybe last night you had a related. You better go to sleep. Emma, you know how many years Rama spent? Exactly 11,042 years Rama spent on the planet Earth. How do you know so accurately? Simple, Ramayana describes. Rama was 16, as Dasharatha has produced the birth certificate to Vishwamitra. My Rama is only 16. 7 days only Vishwamitra's yajnam, then go for marriage. In Sundarakanda, when Hanuman goes there to see Sita Devi, Sita Devi says, after our marriage, we spent 12 years happily in Ayodhya. Prince, no responsibilities, lot of money, enjoy. Rama was 28. Dasharatha wanted to do the Pattabhishekam. Kaikeyi got upset. Rama has to go to the forest. 14 years. 28 plus 14, 42. Good. Rama killed Ravana, came back to Ayodhya, got Pattabhishekam. Valmiki Maharshi says, Dasha Varsha Sahasrani, Dasha Varsha Shatani cha, Ramo Rajyamupasita. 11,000 years Rama ruled the planet Earth. And after 11,000 years, Rama went back to Vaikuntha. So 11,042 years only. Compared to Dasharatha, Rama spent only a short time on the planet Earth. Whereas Krishna spent only, Rama spent 11,042 years. Krishna spent on the planet Earth only 125 years. Only 125 years. After 125 years, Krishna completed everything and went back to Vaikuntha.
So the definition of time was same, what is today to that?
And you have time 24 hours a day, even now. Not only now, even millions and millions years back.
Time definitely not.
The other day I was explaining Vishnu Puranam. In Vishnu Puranam it gives very, very accurately all the calculations. The present Yuga, we are living Kali Yuga, which just began 5,127 years back or so. 5,127 years back. The previous Yuga, the Kali Yuga will go for total time 432,000 years. Long way to go. We just started 5,000 years back. Whereas the previous Yuga, Krishna's time, was 2 times that of Kali Yuga. 864,000 years. The previous Yuga to Krishna, Treta Yuga, when Bhagavan appeared as Lord Rama, 3 times that of Kali Yuga. 432,000 times 3, 1.296 million years. Treta Yuga. The first Yuga, Krita Yuga, Satya Yuga, when Bhagavan appeared as Lord Narasimha, etc. 4 times that of Kali Yuga. 432,000 times 4, 1.728 million years. Add all 4 yugas, 1 Mahayuga. Did you add? Easy. 432,000 is a common factor. Times 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4. Did I say that?
Yeah.
So 432,000 is a common factor. 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4, 10. Multiply by 10. You don't need a calculator. Put an extra 0 next to that.
4.32 million.
Exactly. 432,000 times 10. 4.32 million years. Is just 1 Mahayuga. See how they calculate time. Now come back to Bhagavad Gita. What did Bhagavad Gita say? Yuga Sahasranam Ahariyat Brahmano Viduhu. Hello, Yogi. Oh, Guru. Hello, Guru. You wanted to become a Guru. So listen carefully. What is the duration of one Mahayuga? You are not listening. How can you become a teacher then? How can you become a Guru if you don't even listen properly? So one Mahayuga is 4.32 million years. What is Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita? Yuga sahasranam aharyat brahmano viduhu. 1,000 such Mahayugas is just 12 hours of Brahma. If you go to Brahma Lokam, if you stay there only for 12 hours, you know how much time you spend there? One Mahayuga is 4.32 million years. 1,000 Mahayugas. So 4.32 million years times 1,000. 4.32 billion years. From Brahma, from our perspective, 4.32 billion years from the planet Earth. But from Brahmaloka perspective, 12 hours. You see, the time scale changes from our planet to other planets. You got it? Therefore, in the Yuga Dharma, everything is there given. The duration of the Yugas, longevity, how the incarnations happen. Vishnu Purana gives, Vedavyasa composed the Bhagavatam. Vedavyasa's father, Parashara Maharshi. Parashara Maharshi composed the Vishnu Purana. It gives as meticulously as you can, up to a femtosecond. Have you heard about femtosecond? What is femtosecond?
I have not heard.
10 power minus 3 milliseconds. 10 power minus 6 microsecond. 10 power minus 12 femtosecond. So they have gone in spiritual life up to 10 power minus 12. You know, millisecond. 1 second divided by 1,000. Even if you have your, digital watches, etc., it can go up to 1/100th of a second. It will be just going so fast. 1/100th of a second. They had up to millisecond. Then 10 power minus 6 microsecond. Then micro. 10 power minus 6 times 10 power minus 6 femtosecond. To that extent, spiritual life is calculated. Up to 4.32 billion years is just 12 hours of Brahma. Lifetime of Brahma, another 4.32 billion years. 1 day of Brahma, 8.64 billion years. Afterwards, I cannot multiply. Then 365 days like that is 1 year of Brahma. That is 8.64 billion years. Times 360 days is 1 year of Brahma. And each Brahma will live for 100 such years. Can you stretch now the numbers? 8.64 billion years multiplied by 360, 1 year, multiplied by 100, 1 lifetime of Brahma. And you know, the Narayana that we are talking about, for Narayana, the present Brahma is the 7th Brahma. 6 Brahmas have gone by. And when you do the Sankalpa in your puja, etc., when you do Sandhyavandana, etc., if you do, you know what you say? Adya Brahmana Ditiya Pararthe Shveta Varaha Kalte Vaivasur Vanmantare. Even for the 7th Brahma, 50 years have gone by, 51st year. The present Brahma has to go for another 50 years. On his time scale, not on our scale. And when his lifetime is over, 8th Brahma will be there. You know who is the 8th Brahma? Hanuman will be the next Brahma. Bhavishyat Chaturaranaye Namaha. That is why Hanuman is called Chiranjeevi. There is no death. So because he has to wait for his line, he is called, you know, when will elections happen in America for presidents?
November 11th.
So, in the month of November, the presidential election will take place. But you know, the actual taking care of the White House will happen not in November, in January. So until then, the previous president continues. But in January, the next president will take over, correct? So during that time, so Trump got defeated, say Biden got elected. So from November till January, what do you call Biden? President-elect, not president. President-elect. That means next he will be the... So Hanuman is the Brahma-elect. He is still waiting. He is still waiting for the present Brahma, because after that the 50 years are over, the next person should be ready. They won't wait till the last minute until Brahma becomes 99 years old. They keep the next person ready when 50% of his time is over. So according to that, this present Brahma will go for another 50 years. When his time is gone, the 8th Brahma will be Hanuman. So to that extent, the Vedic calendar, philosophy, numbers, they are there so beautifully explained.
So one
But before that little boy wanted to ask something.
it was about Rama's father's death. Wasn't it a curse? He would die yearning for a son because he killed
goodness,
the...
you know so much. You're right. Because if you're not an expert, you should not practice shooting indiscriminately. Dasharatha once ventured that kind of a thing. And this is explained by none other than Dasharatha himself in Valmiki. When Kaikeyi sent Rama to the forest, that Rama cannot become the king, he should go to the forest for 14 years, and my son Bharata should be the king. When Rama was sent to the forest by Kaikeyi, Dasharatha could not take it. He used to start crying out, Rama, Rama, Rama. He will become unconscious and he will fall down. And again, the doctors, everybody will come and will revive him. He starts crying, and again he will become. So during that time, one day Dasharatha himself explained to Kausalya. He tells Kausalya, that time I am not even married to you. I was still a bachelor. But I am a great expert in archery. In archery, there is a peculiar way of shooting. You don't have to look at a target. If you hear a particular sound, your eyes must focus in which direction the sound came. And exactly in that direction, you should shoot an arrow and hit the target. That is called Shabda Vedhi. They have their own science. So one day in the night time, he wanted to practice. Because night time, wild animals like a tiger, like a lion, will come to the lakes to drink water. So he wanted to stay far away, not looking at the target. But if a lion or something comes to drink water, and when it roars, listening to the sound in which direction it has come, from a far off place, without even looking at the target, he should shoot the arrow and hit it. He was there hiding, waiting to practice his skills. All of a sudden he heard a sound as though an elephant is drinking water and making the sound. Without looking at the target, he shot the arrow. It hit the target, but the target is not an elephant, but a human being. And the human being started crying, oh my God, I am dying, oh my God, I am dying. Dasharatha got scared. He ran to see it was a human being, a young boy, who was actually filling a pot with the water. As the pot is being filled, the air has to come out as the water goes in. So as the water goes in, air was coming out. It was producing the sound very similar to an elephant drinking water. That boy said, you made a terrible mistake. I am the only son of my parents who are blind. I literally carry them, keeping them on either side of a scale and carry it on the shoulder. They were thirsty. I came to fill the pot with some water and came. Now this arrow you have shot is killing me. I am unable to bear the pain. Pull it out. Dasharatha said, if I pull it out, you will bleed to death. He said, death is preferable to me. I cannot bear this pain. So he pulled the arrow, Dasharatha, that boy died. He said, at least take the water and give it to my parents. Dasharatha gave the water. They are blind. They cannot see. They just touched, oh my son, why did you delay? Why did you delay? Then they realized, he is not my son. Who are you? They asked, blind people. Dasharatha told the whole story. The father of that boy who died, he said, since you yourself came, asked for forgiveness, and told us what all happened, I am leaving you today. Otherwise, I would have cursed you and you would have been dead right now. Since you yourself came and admitted your fault and asked for forgiveness, I am giving you an extension of life. But remember, we cannot live without our son. We cannot live even for 1 second. We are going to die right now. We don't want to be dependent on you. We are going to die. Just as I am dying, that my son is not with me. One day you will also die, that your son is not with you. That is the reason why that Dasharatha, who was very healthy, who lived for 60,000 years, once Rama went to the forest, Dasharatha could not live even for 7 days. 6 days he survived somehow or other. The 6th night he went to sleep. 7th day morning he did not wake up. That's the incident you are talking about. Got it? What is the name of the boy Dasharatha killed? He's a little boy. You should know things very, completely. Not, little bit, okay? What is the name of that boy who was killed by Dasharatha?
Shravan?
Correct. Shravan Kumar is that little boy. Right? Can we go more? Was he a Brahmin? Did Dasharatha get Brahma Hatya Patakam?
I think he was a Brahmin.
He was?
He was a Brahmin.
He was no. In fact, when Dasharatha was struggling, if I pull that arrow, you will die. Immediately that Shravan Kumar said, don't worry, I am not a Brahmin by birth. So you will not get the sin of killing a Brahmin. Just remove that. Otherwise, Dasharatha knows killing a priest is an unimaginable sin. So when he was hesitating, that Shravana Kumar himself said, I am not a priest. Therefore you can pull the arrow and you will not get the sin. Right?
Maybe he wasn't born a priest or a Brahmin.
What is that?
Why wasn't he born? Was he something else?
You can be anyone else and you can still be doing meditation. So to become a devotee or to do meditation, there is no such rule that you should be born in a Brahmin family. Anybody can do meditation.
Yeah.
Vidura in Mahabharata, Vidura is not born in a Brahmin family. Okay? But Vidura is a great, great devotee of Krishna. In Valmiki Ramayana, there is a great lady called Shabari. She attained salvation. She is not born in a Brahmin family. So being born in a Brahmin family is not at all a prerequisite for somebody to be a devotee. Anybody can do Sharanagati. Okay? And anybody can get salvation. Got it? You were asking something? Yeah.
I was just telling you that the lifespan of one Brahma is 350 trillion years.
What is it? Life of one Brahma?
It's 315 trillion years.
He calculated 8.64 multiplied
355 multiplied by 100.
How did you calculate?
Me
Digital watch?
No, me and Mama were talking about this before.
Oh, you and Mama were talking about that before?
Sorry.
Last night we were talking about
Last night you calculated.
I gave her the assignment to both the girls to compute the lifespan of one.
Okay, sir. Anybody has a cell phone, no?
Yeah.
Open it up. Just go to your calculator.
Exclusive error, I think.
It's very easy to get, sir. Very easy. See, simple math. Come on, go to your calculator, sir.
Yeah.
You do it?
Yeah.
8.64 multiplied by 360
multiplied by 100.
multiplied by 100. That will be billion years. How many?
311040.
Once again, divide by 1000. Divide by 1000 because billion divided by 1000 is trillion.
311.
How many you said? You are wrong. You said 251.
No, 3.
311 trillion years is the lifetime of one Brahma. You said 311, right?
Yeah. I think they took 365 days for a year as opposed to taking.
Even then you should be more than that. How can we get less?
I have 315.
You get 315. 315.
Yes.
Oh, you took 365 days. I see. No. According to the Vedic calendar, Indian is only 360 days. according to the Vedic calendar.
So why is there an extra 5 days? Is it to balance time out or like something else?
The question here, okay, go back to your science. Very simple. How come February has only 28 days, and how come once in 4 years you get February 29 days?
So that all the time can equal up to the correct amount?
Exactly. To synchronize the time of rotation of the planet Earth to go around the sun, okay? For the differences that come, they have to add 1 day extra. So that is so. So whatever it be, that many trillion years in the lifetime of one Brahma. So if somebody wants to know how old is Narayana, multiply again. By that multiplied by 6.5, because 6 Brahmas have gone by, and the present Brahma 50 years, so 6.5.
2021.
2021 trillions of years that Narayana is worshipped. That doesn't mean he's only 2021 trillion years. He is there right from that time he started creating Brahma. That much we know. Because how many years he was there, lying down in his yoga nidra, in the ocean of milk, okay, on the bed of Adisesha, that is not given anywhere. Very simple. If I look at her, if I should not ask that stupid question, how old are you? If I ask her how old are you, she will slap me. What the hell of a business you have? Because you should not ask a woman how old are you. Okay? So but the stupid mind is curious, how old she can be. So nicely we undertake on the, hello madam, how are you? Are you married? Oh, very good. You have children? Yes. How old, boy or a girl? How old is your first child? 13 years old. So immediately I will use my stupid brain. She had a child of 13 years at least. That means she should be married at least when she was 21. And it will take 1 year at least to get a child. So 21 plus 1, 22. 22 plus 13, 35. So that is how you guesstimate. Right? You guesstimate the age to be at least 35. So why I am saying that? Same way, you do not know her. She can be 35. She can be 36. She can be, that we don't know. But at least 35, correct? Age 21 when she got married, right? At least 1 year to get the first child. So 26, 22 plus 13, so 35. It can be more than that also, right? Same way, Narayana, we don't know how old is he. But at least from the time of his getting the children, Brahma number 1, Brahma number 2, Brahma number 3, etc. At least 2,000 trillion years. Before that, how long? We don't know. How long he was there. Same thing. Bhagavan Krishna. The most interesting thing in the life of Krishna, what is that the most interesting thing in the life of Krishna?
Bhagavathas.
Who cares about Bhagavad Gita? Who cares about Bhagavad Gita, sir?
His childhood years?
Emma?
His childhood years?
His 1,000 years?
Childhood years.
His childhood, no.
How old are you?
His marriages?
Yes.
What is it?
How old? Somebody else.
125 years.
Somebody answered
His marriages. His marriages. Like he did.
Who cares about marriages? You ask him. He doesn't remember his marriage day, wedding day. He doesn't remember his wedding day. Had he had a girlfriend, he remembers her birthday. The most, you should understand why I am asking this question. Exactly. When it comes to the time, why the most interesting aspect in the entire incarnation of Krishna is the Rasa Leela, the Rasa Krida Krishna Day. Same kind of concept of time. So how long was the duration of that Rasa Krida? That is the reason why. People think it was a full moon night in Sharat Kala, Sharat Purnima. Was it only one night of 12 hours? In Sharat Ritu there are 2 Purnimas. There are 2 Purnimas. Chaitram, Vaishakam, Jyeshtam, Ashadam, Shravanam, Bhadratam, Ashweya Purnima and Kartika Purnima. There are 2 Purnimas. Which Purnima? Is it the first Purnima or the second Purnima?
Kartik Purnima.
Kartik Purnami. Was that night only for 12 hours?
I read 1,000 years. That
1,000
night-
years. Too small. Time was frozen by Krishna. How do you know time? When the sun rises, when the sun sets, daybreak, and the day is over, night time begins. But during the time of Rasa Krida, the entire time was frozen. All the Devi Devatas, the entire airspace was just jam-packed with 1,000,000 planes from every Devi Devata who came to witness that na bhuto na bhavishyati, never in the past, may not be in the future. That unimaginable Rasa Krida Krishna, the whole universe was just frozen, including the Devi Devatas, including the sun, including the moon, including the stars, including the planets. Therefore, nobody knows whether that Sharat Purnima is one night, or from this Purnima to the next Purnima, or is it from this Sharat Purnima to the next year, or is it for 1,000,000 years, or is it for a millennium? Nobody knows. Frozen. Got it? So Krishna alone has that capability to freeze time. Why? How can Krishna freeze time? Very easy. Because he does it every second in Vaikuntham. In Vaikuntham there are no clocks. Nothing moves. Time is frozen there. You don't have to be in a rush. Oh my God, it's 8 o'clock, I have to run to office. You don't have to set your alarm. Oh my God, 4:30, I have to wake up. No. Time is frozen there. Good. So freezing the time is possible only to Krishna, no one else. Because in Vaikuntham, time is always frozen.
But why will he freeze the time?
Yes, sir?
Why will he freeze the time?
Because Krishna is Bhagavan. And did you go to temples? One thing away, sir. When you go to the temple, what is the first thing that you do?
Wait, worship.
Take off your shoes.
That's very a drama. We go to the temples not to pray, not to worship. We go to temples to do some business. And that too unfair business. What is that unfair business? Krishna, I put $5 in your bill. Get me $5 million. Krishna, I put $10 in your hundi. Get me 100 million lotto ticket. What do you call unfair business practices like? You go to a supermarket, you give $10, you get only 10 bananas. You give $10 and say, give me the whole supermarket. What will he say? Are you out of your mind or what? You give $10, there is $1 million stock in the supermarket. How can I give you $1 million stock for your $10? What are we doing, sir? The first thing we go to a temple, praying, etc. is different. The most important thing we do is, we take some $1, $5, $10, and we put in the donation box, and immediately we fold our hands. See, Krishna, I gave you $10. Make sure, Krishna, I get my green card quickly. Make sure, Krishna, I get married quickly. Make sure, Krishna, I get my child quickly. Make sure, Krishna, I get $1 million. Right?
Which is much higher than what you put in.
No, unfair business practices.
Yeah.
Correct? That's all. Therefore, why do you think the question that is you are giving money there? You can pray without Krishna. Did ever Krishna say that you give money, then only you can pray? Krishna said, Patram, Pushpam, Palam, Toyam. Yo me bhajya prayachati tadaham bhajyabhaktam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Krishna did not say, offer me $10 and then only you can tell your prayer. Krishna never said, offer me $100. You know what we do? If it is a small thing, child is sick, fever, you put only $10. Green card is getting delayed, you put $100. Right? Daughter is not getting married, you put $200. Depending on the type of desire we have, how difficult it is, we increase our donation, correct? Most of it. Why are you giving even that $1? Because Bhagavan has a policy. Whatever he accepts from us, he has to give you 10 times more than that. Somebody knew this fact. Therefore, you do something for Krishna, you will get 10 times more than that. 10 times more than that.
What should be donated from your salary to you?
Gita doesn't say that.
No. So what's
Dharma Shastra says that. Dharma Shastra says that how much you should donate. We'll come to that. Now coming back to where did it say that? When Devaki Devi was pregnant, 7th time, Sriman Narayana in Vaikuntham invokes his Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya. Calls Yoga Maya and says, the firstborn 6 boys, 6 children of Devaki were killed by her own brother Kamsa. The 7th time pregnancy of Devaki is none other than Adisesha in that womb, going to be born as Balarama. This Adisesha is a Nityashuri, he cannot be killed. Devaki and Vasudeva are under house arrest. Vasudeva had another wife, Rohini, living in Nanda Gokulam. And once in a way she comes and visits her husband because it's not a jail, it is house arrest only. Now Yogamaya go, make an embryo transfer from the womb of Devaki into the womb of Rohini. Everybody will think Devaki had a miscarriage for the 7th time. And everybody thinks Rohini is visiting her husband, so she became pregnant. So let that child be delivered by Rohini, conceived by Devaki, delivered by Rohini, will be Sankarshana, one who is attracted from, taken out from one and implanted elsewhere. Sorry? Embryo transfer technology was there. So do that one. Then for the 8th time to Devaki, I myself will be born. You better be born as a daughter to Yashoda. I will come to the mother where you are born. You come to the mother where I am born. Since we are swapping the mothers, you will be almost like my sister. People will worship you with the 14 names. Amba, Shambhavi, Bhadrakali, Uma, Katyayini, Gauri, Kanyaka, Narayani, Vaishnavi, like that. Shankara has only 11 forms. So in 11 forms, I will get you united with Shankara. But in 3 forms, you remain a spinster. Kanyaka, Vaishnavi, Narayani didn't get married. Except moksham, except salvation, you can give any, you can fulfill any desire of all the devotees. I give you that power. Except salvation. Then Yogamaya goes down Narayana, bows down to him and says, I am extremely grateful to you that you are using my services and you blessed me that except moksham I can give everything. She does it. And as usual, you know the rest of the story. When Krishna went to Yashoda, Yashoda's baby girl was brought by Vasudeva and given to Devaki. Kamsa comes, grabs the baby by the feet and tries to kill her by smashing the head. That time that baby girl slipped from Kamsa's hands and reappears as Bhadrakali with 8 hands in the sky and says, a stupid fellow Kamsa, what is it you can kill me? I am the Yogamaya of Lord Narayana. My Lord Narayana already has incarnated to kill you. Good. This happened. Then Krishna brought up by Yashoda, 7.5 years Nanda Gokulam. Then left Nanda Gokulam after Rasa Krida, came back to Mathura, killed Kamsa, etc. Got Upanayinam, went to the Gurukulam, gave Guru Dakshina to his teacher Sandipani. That Sandipani had a son, 8-year-old boy. Some 12 years back he went to the beach and swept away by the waves and he is dead. Sandipani says, get my dead child back to me and give as Guru Dakshina. Krishna said, no problem. He went to God of Death, got that boy as though he was never dead. 8 years old when he died, 12 years have gone by, made him like a 20-year-old boy and presented to Guru. As though he went abroad for 12 years and came back. Good. Now, Krishna came back. Slowly the word spread around. This Krishna seems to be way beyond our expectations. He should be Bhagavan Narayana. Otherwise, who can bring even a dead person back to life? That took 12 years after death. The news spread that Krishna can get back even the dead back to life and reach the Devaki. First question Devaki said, Sir, Krishna, you do that kind of favors only to your teacher, not to your own mother. Look at me, Krishna, my firstborn 6 children are killed by my own brother. Get my 6 children who are dead back to life and give them. Because they were fortunate to be born as the brothers of Lord Krishna, they were not there with the god of death in Yamalokam. They were there as honorable guests in a planet called Sutalam, ruled by King Bali Chakravarti, who was pushed down by Vamana that time. So Krishna goes there to the Sutalokam, to Vamana. And Bali Chakravarti was so happy to see Krishna. He said, Krishna, last time also you came exactly like a 8-year-old boy Vamana. On the pretext of taking 3 feet of land from me, you occupied all the 3 worlds, upper world, mid world, lower world, and pushed me down here to Sutalam. Again you are coming back as the 8-year-old boy. What can I do for you, Krishna? You want to take this planet? Take it, Krishna. It is yours, not mine. I know my limits now. That is the time Krishna says, how can I accept anything from anybody? If I take anything, if I accept anything from somebody, I have to give them 10 times more than that. Krishna says, if somebody gives me something, if I accept it, I have to give them 10 times more than that. I have taken from you 3 feet of land and occupied 3 worlds. What does it mean? I have to give you 30 worlds, 10 times more than that. But in this Brahmanda, there are only 14 worlds. So where can I go to give you 30 worlds? I could give you only 14 worlds. You know, for the remaining, how I am paying you back? I became your unpaid security guard, your doorman. I am doing unpaid service to you to clear the debt. I did not even clear the debt. How can I take more? That's where Krishna says, if I take something from somebody, I have to give you 10 times more than that. Now Krishna brings all the 6 brothers of the earth. That is where they come across. That is where people put that $1, $10 in this thing, thinking that for Krishna is not for one night. Is not for one night. You know how many years they were praying for Krishna? To enjoy with Krishna, how many days?
12,000 years.
12,000 years.
Yes, yes.
How do you know, man?
You just told right now, like earlier.
Where did they say 12,000 years?
When you were talking about Ram Krishna?
Rama.
Yes.
That's right. Rama ruled the planet Earth for 11,000 years, I said.
Oh.
Not for 11,000 years.
Okay.
So, is that only 11,000 years they prayed to Rama to enjoy?
No, it was about Maharshi, right? Who worshipped Rama and...
But before that they have not seen Rama.
The Raman who put all the
That is,
Maharshi
before
in
that they were praying to Narayana. But their idea was to attain salvation, not to enjoy with Rama.
I got it.
So, when how many days they were praying? Yes, sir, any one of you? Very easy, sir. 11,000 years in Treta Yuga. And after that, Dwapara Yuga. The duration of Dwapara Yuga, 864,000 years. And that 864,000 years, last 125 years only Krishna was on the planet Earth. So, 864,000 years minus 125 years of Krishna's time, minus Krishna was 8 years old. That means 117,000 years only, 117 years only, Krishna lived for 125 years. Krishna was already by 8 years old by then. Therefore, 11,000 years of Ramayana plus 863,875 years or so. Got it? So 864 plus 7. For 875,000 years, those Maharshis were praying. Therefore, to give 10 times more than that, What are you getting now? 874,000 years multiplied by 10. That many years the time was frozen. Good. Bhagavan Krishna is so merciful. That is why Bhagavatam is so great. Because Bhagavatam talks. Worshipping Bhagavan is great. But worshipping a devotee of Bhagavan is even greater than that. And worshipping one's Acharya is even the greatest thing. That's why they say Bhagavat Kainkaryam, Bhagavata Kainkaryam, Acharya Kainkaryam. Good.
So one question I have that about, you talk about thousands of years, millions of years and all. We live only 100 years, 120 years. Why? Like we cannot manage it, the body is deteriorating. Why our soul is, or whatever, we have the body or whatever it is, we have only 100, 120 years.
You thank Krishna, we are living for 100 years at least. Suppose we are born as a mosquito. The mosquito will live only for 4 days or 5 days. It will come and bite her. She will do like this. It's gone. So, every one of us, when we are born, how we are born, what body we get, is all depending on our karma. We are born in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, we can live maximum only 120 years. Had we been born in Dwapara Yuga, we have an opportunity to live for 1200 years. Were we born in Treta Yuga, we have an opportunity to live for 120,000 years. If we were born in Krita Yuga, we have an opportunity to live for 1.2 million years. It goes like that. 120, 1200, 120,000 and 1.2 million.
So when you say if, is it
depends on our karma.
No, karma, but where I was there at that time or no?
You were there. Don't think if you, by looking at you, I'm thinking you will be at least some 40, 50 years old. Okay, this 40, 50 years old is your body age, not for the soul.
Yeah.
Your soul has taken a birth in Krita Yuga, in Treta Yuga, in Dwapara Yuga, in Kali Yuga.
Yep.
Not only in this Mahayuga, in this Brahma's time, not only in this Brahma's time, in the previous Brahma's time, as we calculated, for the past 2,000 trillion years, this Jivatma is taking body after body after body after body, and still we didn't get salvation. So in this time, but we have taken millions of births, and we lived for millions and millions of years. It is up to you whether you want to go to Vaikuntha at least this time, or again birth, again death, again birth, again death. Your choice. And that Sharanagati guarantees salvation to anyone and everyone. And for doing that Sharanagati, only one condition. Merito Gindhar Gopal Dushanake. Because we were born today, we are living like this. When we were born in Rama's time, we lived for thousands of years. When we were born in the Narasimha's time of Veda, we lived for thousands of years. And not always as human beings.
Yep.
As animals, as trees. What is it?
8.4.
Amazon forest, right? Evergreen forest. Even some trees are there hundreds of years old, right?
Yep.
They say 900 years old, 1000. It's just so common in the forest, right? So common. So even we were born as a tree because you can take birth in 4 ways. Sura, Nara, Tiriya, Sthavara. Where did Krishna say that? Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grunhati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. She is wearing a sari. Nice sari. But how long she will wear that sari? 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. After a few years, that will become either old or torn. What will she do with that old saree, torn saree? She will just dump it and she will get a new saree. What will be her new saree like? If she has 50,000 rupees, she will buy a grand saree. If she has only 10,000 rupees, she will buy a business silk saree. If she has only 1,000 rupees, she will buy a cotton saree. If she has nothing, she will beg a neighbor, please give me a saree, I have to cover my body. Exactly the same. Just as your next saree can be a grand 50,000 rupees saree, or a 10,000 rupees business silk saree, 1,000 rupees cotton saree, or a second-hand saree, when the soul leaves this body, it can have 4 births, 4 choices. Either it can get the birth of a Devi Devata, one of the 330 million Devi Devatas. They are not permanent job holders, contract employees. Contract employees. Indra, 800,000 years old. Manu, 1.2 million old. Brahma, 311 trillion years old, like contract employees. During their time, either they also have to practice Bhakti Yoga or Sharanagati and get salvation. If not, vacate your job, your time is up. Contract over. So take birth again on the planet Earth. There is a vacancy there at the time of your death. If you have more than 75% of Punya Karma, 75% or more of Punya Karma, you will be, your next birth will be as a Devi Devata there. That means between 75.001% to 99.99%, there are 330 million Devi Devatas there. There is a vacancy there. Depending on which slot you fit in, your next birth will be that of a Devi Devata. When you, at the time of your death, you have 50-50 positive negative balance, we are born as a human being. At the time of death, you have 75% negative karma, papa karma. Tiryak. Tiryak means horizontal. Vertebral column, vertical for us. Tiryak, horizontal. Dog, snake, donkey, bird, pig, horse, everything. Horizontal. Got it? Tiryak. We have more than 75% negative balance. Stavara, like a tree, like a plant. They are all having their soul. Every blade of grass has a soul. Every fish in the Pacific Ocean has a soul. Every chicken in the world has a soul. Every tree has a soul. Every plant has a soul. Nobody can count how many trillions of souls are there. Can anybody count how many fish in Pacific Ocean? How many plants in the whole world, in the whole universe? So you can become Sura, Devi Devata, Nara, human being, Tiryak, animal. How many goats? How many dogs? How many chicken? How many birds? Can't even count. Stavara, plants and trees. These are the 4 ways. Whereas salvation means what you could not attain for the past so many trillions of years. Leaving this entire material world, attaining Sri Vaikuntham. No offenses. Sir, by looking at you, you should be at least some 60, 70 years old, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Longer than that.
Well, why I am asking is, tell me honestly, sir, how many times you thought, I wish I am 20, I wish I am 20? At least 100 times a day. Please do Sharanagati and go to Vaikuntham. You will always be 20. You ask her, how many times she goes for facials, beauty parlor. Why? She wants to look young. Go to Vaikuntham. No 20. She doesn't go to beauty parlor. She doesn't go for facials because she knows she is very young. Who? After 40, after 50. Huh? Same thing. Go to Vaikuntham. No need to go to a beauty parlor because you're always 20. There's no old age there. And we are upright for the past 2 years. The whole world is just locked down, right? No coronavirus there. No heart attack. no cancer, no AIDS, no stroke. And what is it we are all scared of? Death. Go to Vaikuntham. There is no death. Always 20. No disease, no cancer, no heart attack, no coronavirus, no death. Pure happiness. This is your old house, sir. Sir, this is your old house? Right?
Yeah.
He might have paid $500,000 million for the house. In spite of paying $500,000, what did he get? Some bricks, some cement, some wood, and some paint, that's all. Want to go to Vaikuntham? Gold palace. All the walls are gold. All the furniture is gold. Everything is gold palaces there. And there is no distress at all. Only pure Brahmanandam. No need to work. No need to work. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 8 hours per day. If they pay overtime, 10 hours per day, 12 hours per day, no need to work. If nothing interests you, no need to cook. No need to cook. First of all, there is no hunger there. But if you feel, looks like it would be nice if I eat something, 100 items will be there. Sir, you want to go to Vaikuntham? You know the reason. If she cooks, your job is you have to wash the dishes. That's what the agreement between the wife and husband, right? I cook, why should I do anything? You better wash the You cook, I will wash the dishes, right? Go to Vaikuntham, no need to wash the dishes. The minute you are done, the minute you think you are hungry, 100 items are there in front of you. And the minute you ate, they will just disappear. You don't have to wash. You don't have to pay electricity bill. You know that? You think, the minute you think, is it hot? AC will be on. No bill to pay. The minute you think, is it a little bit cold? Heaters are on. No need to worry about anything. Satya Sankalpa. Whatever you think will come true. How many times you thought, I had a good friend, in my 10th grade, what happened to you don't have to. The minute you think, I had a wife in my 848th birth, what happened to her? You think, oh my God, that stupid lady is still there as a donkey here. A million birds, what you have taken, a million birds who are all associated with you. But after looking at, 400 people, you'll be just fed up. You'll be just fed up and say, enough. I don't even worry about all that. Exactly the same thing. So you will be there. That is why Vaikuntham, Kuntham, any kind of distress, Vaikuntham, absolutely no distress, pure happiness. And that is possible where Krishna says, Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshishyami. Why you could not go to Vaikuntham? Because we have so much of papa karma waiting for us. Yes, you are a good girl. Yes, you go to the temple. Yes, you put $10 there. Yes, you pray. But those things is increasing your positive balance. But that cannot wipe out your negative balance. What do you mean by negative balance? Papa karma. Immediately Papa karma means what he is thinking. I did not take a gun and kill 10 people. I'm a good guy. I did not borrow 20 million from the bank and declare bankruptcy after 2 years. I did not cheat them, so I'm a good guy. So the present day good guy means if you have not done negative things, you are thinking you are a good guy. That is not the definition of a good guy. A good guy means not doing negative things. What good things you have done? We are not that. Since we are not killing anybody, we are not robbing anybody, we are thinking we are good people. That is not the definition of good person. Negative things, where we get? I did not kill, I did not rob, so how can you say I am a sinner? Simple. Sir, what time you woke up this morning? Sunday. Tell the truth.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. He got sin already. What do you mean you got sin already? According to Dharma, sunrise is at 6:30 this morning. 1.5 hours before that is Brahma Muhurta. You should have got up at 5 a.m. Finish your shower. 45 minutes is allowed. 48 minutes is allowed for your, restroom, shower, etc. Because Muhurta means, Brahma Muhurta is for 96 minutes. So first 48 minutes for you to get up, brush your teeth, take a shower, everything. The next 48 minutes before sunrise, you must be spending in your Sandhya Vandanam, Japam, meditation. But sun rose at 6:30 in the morning and you woke up at 9 o'clock. You got sin already.
You just answered my question because I was going to ask how
One
to stay disciplined.
One second. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
One kapra.
Chapati.
Okay, you had a roti, right?
Yeah, one.
Did you offer it to Krishna?
No.
You got sin? Because Krishna says, Brunchate te agam papa, ye pachanti atmakarana. That particular sinner who cooks only to fill his stomach or her stomach without offering to Krishna is eating only sin. So we are thinking, I did not kill anybody, where did I get sin?
We are adding the sense actually every day.
Every second I am drinking some water. If I drink it without saying Krishna Arpanam, I got sin. Everything that you eat, where did Krishna say that? Yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat juhoshi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurishvama darpanam. Drinking a glass of water. Madam, you have a bottle of water in your hand, right? You are drinking it, right? Did you say Krishna Arpanam?
I just did.
She just did. Right? But this morning you had a cup of coffee, right? Either you had coffee or tea or a glass of milk or a fruit, right? Did you say Krishna Arpanam for all of this?
Not all of it, but a lot of the times I do thank God.
That is not enough. Thanks is a very, very, insignificant word. Compared to that word Krishna Arpanam, these are all very, very insignificant. Yes, I am happy you said thank you. But the right word is Krishna Arpanam. Only them. Do not think only if you kill a chicken and eat biryani you will get sin. Don't think that only if you eat a non-veg food it is sin. Even if you eat okra, even if you eat a banana, even if you drink a glass of water without offering to Krishna, it is sin. When she cooked the food, what is she saying? Food is ready, come on, come to the table. But suppose she took a shower, she wore some clean clothes, she prepared, she offered to Krishna. You know what they are saying? Beta, aao beta, prasad khalo. How come? That food that you prepared transformed into prasad. When you offer to Krishna, even the sin of your hurting that okra plant or the banana plant or harvesting the rice and killing all those plants, when you offer to Krishna, that sin of hurting the plant, he will remove. So the food that you prepare minus the sin of acquiring them is called prasad. If you don't offer to Krishna, you are eating only food. And eating food is giving you only sin. When you offer to Krishna, it becomes a prasad. You eat prasad, you are free of sin. You understand now how we are getting sin? Every day without our knowledge. Right from the time of our waking up. Got it? Right from the time of our waking up. Right from the time we take even a glass of water or eat anything that goes into our mouth, we are acquiring sin. And your positive balance cannot wipe out your negative balance. You know what I am saying? When you are dead, the messengers of the god of death will take you to the god of death, Yamaloka. And that Yamaloka has a big chartered accountant there, Chitragupta. That Chitragupta has a huge folder on you. A huge folder. Because how many years you live? what all we ate, what all we heard, what all we did not play, what all we did not do. Our whole fight, positive things are also there. How many temples you went to, how much you donated. Okay, you donated for high school, you donated for college, or you donate for poor people. Everything is there. And he will give you finally, Yamadharmaraja doesn't have the time to go through your whole file. Come on, what is the balance sheet? Simply, sir, 38% positive balance, 62% negative balance. You cannot bargain with Yamadharmaraja, sir. 62% positive balance, 38% negative balance. Deduct the 38% of negative balance from my 62% positive balance and give me net 24 positive balance. So that I don't have to suffer in hell. Right? I don't have to suffer in hell for a 38% negative balance. Net 24 positive is there, right? So I go to Swargam and enjoy for 24% positive. No, you cannot bargain. Remove the rule there. Hello. For 38% negative, go through the suffering here. For 62% positive, go to Swargalokam and enjoy. No doubt about that. But some karmas, you will go through the consequences in this life itself. Some karma phalam you will go through in hell or heaven, and some karma phalam you will go through in birth after birth after birth. Don't understand? Take a okra seed and plant. Within 1 week the plant will come. Within 1 month it will start giving you the okra. But within 3 months the plant is also dead. Correct? You take a mango seed and plant. It will take 6 months to germinate. It will take 10 years to start giving the fruits. But the fruits will go on for 100 years, 200 years, a mango tree. Same way, karma and karma phalam. Some of them will give you the karma phalam in this life, some of them in Narakam and Swargam, and some of them from birth to birth to birth. How are you going to wipe out? Sure. When you do the positive things, like going to the temples, serving the poor, you are increasing your punya karma. But what are you doing to wipe out the negative karma? That is the point. No doubt you got 38% or so positive karma. But what are we doing to wipe out the negative karma, 62%? That is where Krishna comes into picture. When you cannot practice any of the yogas, dharmas, like the jnana yoga, karma yoga, or bhakti yoga, sarvadharman parityajya. Sarvadharman parityajya means don't pay your electricity bill. Don't pay your bargain. That is not sarvadharman parityajya. That is the dharma that you have to follow to attain salvation, like the jnana yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga. If you cannot do, can you do one thing? Mam ekam sharanam vraja. That exclusive sharanagati to me and me only. If you do that, the benefit, aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Whatever be your sins, Krishna says, I wipe them out. This man said, has $48,000 in fixed deposit in a bank. If he calls the bank and says, I don't need that money, you keep it, the bank will say, thank you, thank you, thank you, and will take that 48,000 into its own account. Suppose he borrowed 24,000 for his car, and he says, I paid 4,000 so far, I don't want to pay, you keep the loan. They will not keep your loan. Your positive balance, say 48,000 fixed deposit. If you say, I don't want it, you keep it, bank will be very happy to take it. But I have 24,000 loan, I don't want to pay that, you take it. No bank will take that liability, right? Exactly at the time of your death, when you say, Krishna, I did some positive balances, positive things. Devi Devatas, you take my punya karma, thank you, they will take it. But at the time of death, if you say, Devi Devatas, I have some 38% negative karma, take it. No way you have to go through. So, it is the positive karma that you can renounce and say Krishnarpana. But the negative karma, you cannot say, you take my loan. Nobody will take your loan. Either you have to, in Bhakti Yoga, wipe out by doing the Japam, Danam, Japa, Dana, Prayashchitta and Homa. There are only 4 ways you can overcome. By doing Japam or Danam or Homam or Prayashchitta. If you don't do that, your karma will haunt you in Naraka. Again, birth after birth after birth.
Excuse me, what was the third one?
One second. If you do that Sharanagati, he says, Aham tva sarva papebhyo. Whatever be your sins. That doesn't mean Sharanagati is a license to keep on making sins. Suppose this man thinks, why should I do Sharanagati now? I'm only 38. Let me eat my chicken biryani or all sorts of stupid things until I'm 74 or 92. That time I will do Sharanagati. Suppose he keeps on doing. Death will not give you advance notice. Right? No. He'll be thinking at 94 I will do. But who knows? Somebody may die at 64 itself. So you only accumulate negative karma, not positive karma. Now coming back to positive karma, you can say I don't want it, Devi Devatas have it, you'll be happy. Negative karma, you have to go through. Or you have to do the 4 things, Danam, Japam, Homam or Prayashchittam.
My question was, what is Homam? The third.
Homam means offering oblations in burning fire. Havan.
Oh, Homam.
Havan is the Hindi word, Homa is the Sanskrit word.
Thank you.
Only by 4 ways, with appropriate mantras. If not, it's going to be difficult. And for every kind of sin we have committed, for not waking up before sunrise, for eating things without offering to Krishna, for indulging in immoral relationships, for taking alcoholic drinks, no offenses. His favorite drink, wine. His favorite drink, champagne. His favorite drink, hard liquor. Enjoy. Once you go to hell, you know what the Yamadutas will say? That day you drank, right? Saying God that, Swami, I'm a good boy. I will always be a good boy. Forgive me. Every time we say, sir, right? We go to the temples, we say, Swami, I made mistakes. I'll be a good boy. Please forgive me, right? You said, I will be a good boy. Forgive me, right? But tomorrow you did. Correct? Therefore, your sin doubles. Because you asked for forgiveness and you said you will not do that. Every one of us will do that, right, sir? Are you not saying, sir? You know what is it? Papoham, papakarmaham. Swami, I'm a sinner. I made stupid things. But I'll be a good boy, I won't do. Today we say I don't do. That means it's a promise given to Krishna. And second day you did it. So your sin doubles actually. Are you getting my point? Therefore, if you have to do your Prayashchittam, it takes 1 lifetime is not enough. That is the reason why in Ramayana time, even Brahmins used to eat meat. But they lived for 120,000 years. So they will enjoy all those negative things. And then, after some time, they will leave everything. Go to Vanaprastham Sannyasa. 10,000 years. They do meditation 10,000 years without even water, without even food. Because as long as you are in meditation, you will not die. Death will not come to you when you are in meditation. As long as you are doing the Harinama Smarana, even death cannot come to you. So, 10,000 years, 20,000 years, they keep on doing to wipe out all the meat eating they did, all the alcohol they have taken, etc. They wipe out. But here you don't have 20,000 years to do meditation to wash out. That is the reason why in Kali Yuga they say, better not do that, not do simple activities, because you don't have the luxury of 10,000 years, 20,000 years to do meditation to wipe out. As I said, Dhanam, Japam. Japam is the meditation. Dhanam, Japam, Homa, or Prayashchitta. Prayashchitta means atonement. Atonement as given in the Vedic scriptures. Since you don't have that luxury, Krishna says, can you do that Sharanagati? I will wipe out all your sins. All your sins means what? Go back to Valmiki Ramayana and Lord Rama's time. Before the war, when Ravana's brother Vibhishana came to do Sharanagati at the feet of Lord Rama, Rama said, Sugriva, go to the ocean, get some water. I will not only give protection to Vibhishana, but I will do the Pattabhishekam to Vibhishana right now and make him the future king of Lanka after killing Ravana. That time Sugriva says, Rama, stop for a minute. We did not even construct the bridge over the ocean yet. You did not start the war yet. You did not kill Ravana. Now itself you are doing a Pattabhishekam to Vibhishana as the future king. For argument's sake, if tomorrow Ravana himself comes and says, Rama, I will also do Sharanagati, what will you do? That is where Bhagavan Sri Rama, you know what he said? Vibhishano va Sugriva yediva Ravana swayam. Sugriva, forget about giving protection through Sharanagati to Vibhishana and making him the king. For a good person like Vibhishana, even that worst sinner Ravana, who abducted my own wife Sita Mahalakshmi against her will, who tortured her for 1 year. And in Sundarakanda, Ravana comes and gives ultimatum to Sita. Sita, I gave you 1 year time to change your mind and marry me, become my wife and make me happy. 10 months have gone by, you did not change your mind. Only 2 more months remain. If within these 2 months you don't change your mind, become my wife and don't make me happy, you know what will happen to you after 2 months? My cook will come, will kill you, cut you to pieces and cook. I will eat you for breakfast and enjoy. Bluntly speaking, Ravana's ultimatum to Sita in Sundarakanda is, if I cannot enjoy you in my bed as my wife, I will rather kill you and eat you for breakfast and enjoy. Who heard it? Hanuman. And went and told Rama. You know what is Rama saying? Even if that sinner Ravana comes and does Sharanagati to me, I will forgive his sins also and give him moksha. What after all are your sins? 10,000 lives. What after all are his sins? 20,000 alcohol bottles you would have emptied. What after all are his sins? 30,000 chicken you would have eaten. Or any of these sins are anywhere comparable to the sins of Ravana. That is the point. You understand the concept of Sharanagati? He says, Aham tva sarva papebhyo. It is not that I will wipe out your sin of not getting up before sunrise. It is not that I will not wipe out your sin of eating forbidden food. No, sarva papebhyo. And I will come to you again. That is why Krishna said, Aham tva sarva papebhyo. You understand? If not, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Now I'll come back to you. Sir, you were asking for something.
Yeah, I want to explain those 4 things you mentioned. Nadam, Japam, especially, and the last one. If you explain in detail.
Can I tell you one thing, sir?
Why do you want to take a long path?
From here you want to go to Texas. You can walk from here to Texas. You can take a cycle and you can pedal it all the way to Texas. You can take a car and go. You can take a flight and go. By the way, I'll give you a free ticket to Texas. Plane ticket. Tell me what you want. You want to walk from here to Dallas? No. Go ahead. It will take you 3 months outside. How many miles now from Dallas? At least 1,000 miles. 50. At the most you can walk 30 miles a day, right? So 1,000 miles divided by 30 miles will take you more than a month. No problem, you can walk. You can cycle. It will take you 20 days or so. You can ride. It will take you 3 days. Free ticket. First class ticket. 3 hours. So you tell me which one you prefer. Danam, Japam, Hom, Prayakirtan, each other. Yes, you can do that. But when you do that Sharanagati, very simple process. Krishna says, I will wipe out all of them. I'm not stopping you from taking a walk. Yes, Dhanam. I'll give you one bit of it, then you will not ask me for the rest of them. There is a procedure called Ashwamedha Yagam. When they do Ashwamedha Yagam, you know what the person he is doing has to give? Suppose this man wants to do Ashwamedha Yagam. In the good olden days, only Maharajas used to do. The present days, if he has to do, he needs at least some, say, $100 billion he needs. He needs $100 billion. Because suppose he invites, even without invitation, people will come and give yajna. He comes. Before he is completing the yajna, he has asked everyone, anything I can do for you? He says, I want to be the governor of New York. He has to give him enough money to contest the election and give him. For contesting the election and give him. Somebody says, I want 1,000,000 acres of farmland. He has to give them. That's why they used to spend anything and everything, including his own house, including his possessions, except the 2 pieces of cloth that are there on his body. He should give everything for charity. That's called dana. That's how they used to do. Even when Dasharatha did the Ashwamedha Yaga, he gave even the whole kingdom to the priest. But afterwards the priest says, hello sir, my job is only to do the yajnas. Thank you for giving. You take your kingdom back, but give me some money so that I have a comfortable living. And they will give it back to him in exchange for some money. But in the procedure he has to give his everything in dana. That is how you will wipe out. But yeah, yes sir, you are asking something. That let me go ahead.
I was just wondering, you said earlier how Hanumanji was the president-elect, I guess, next Bharam.
Brahma-elect.
I was wondering like how he came to be in the position.
How Hanuman became to be in a position to become the Brahma-elect?
Simple.
All the good
By becoming a pure devotee of Rama. By becoming, how did Biden become president-elect? By contesting the election and working hard to win. Hanuman did the same thing. Became a devotee of Rama. Suppose if I ask you, sir, can you go to New York City and get me New York City first edition within 1 minute? Midnight they release New York Times, right? Suppose I ask you, sir, can you get me New York Times first edition? Oh, come on, man, I'm 100 miles away. How can I go? What do you think you are? What did Rama ask Hanuman? Hanuman, Lakshmana fell unconscious. Just take one long jump from Sri Lanka to Himalayas. From Sri Lanka to Himalayas. And bring that Sanjeevani. When Hanuman went there, he could not identify which exactly is the plant Sanjeevani. You know what he did? He lifted the whole Sanjeevani mountain and then brought it. Okay. One trip from Sri Lanka to Himalayas. Second trip from Himalayas bringing the Sanjeevani mountain to Sri Lanka. Then Sushena is the physician there. He found the right herbs and he cured Lakshmana. They became conscious. Then you know what Rama said? Hanuman, the purpose is done. Take the Sanjeevani back to Himalayas. Okay, now take the Sanjeevani back to Himalayas. Then Hanuman, don't stay there for too long. Come back before sunrise, because tomorrow morning you will get ready for the fighting. So from Himalayas back to Sri Lanka. Do you think even the fastest flight, Sri Lanka to Himalayas, is some 3,000 miles? For it to go one trip, bring the Sanjeevani Parvatam, again to drop it, again to come back. Sir, 4 trips I made. I need some rest. You know what the pilots say, right? You heard some of the news stories, right? My 12-hour shift is done. I'm not going to take the flight. You just go off, right? No. Hanuman cannot say, sir, I'm tired, 4 trips in the night, I'm going to sleep. No. Get ready for the fight again the next day morning. If the master says something to become a pure devotee like Hanuman, there is only one word in his dictionary. Yes, sir. I said one word. Then how come you did not find fault? There are two words, yes sir. No, it's only one word. They say yes sir. They don't split it. They don't even split it. You understand what I'm saying? That means by the time you split, even the meaning can change. That's why the honest people, they will combine both of them into one word, say yes sir, right? The idea is, other than that one word, there should be nothing in the addition. That is how Hanuman became Chiranjeevi, and that is how Hanuman is qualified to be the next Brahma. Now, someone, yes, this little boy here, yes sir, what can I do for you?
Wasn't Ravana also like cursed by someone to become Ravana? He was like a gatekeeper to the heavens, and he didn't let a sage in, or someone like that, and he got cursed to go down to earth and be an evil person like 3 times. Him and the other gatekeeper.
Where are you learning all these things? How old are you?
13.
13?
Yes.
Are your parents here?
Yeah. Mom. I read a lot.
Give him some milk. Hey, you should drink 4 cups of milk every day. I thought looking at you are hardly some 8 years, 9 years old. Okay, you are very short. You have to grow tall. To grow tall, you need your bones have to grow. Your bones will grow only when you have enough calcium. For enough calcium, you have to drink at least 4 cups of milk every day. I am very happy. Ma, can one of you answer this question? Is Ravana cursed by somebody to be like that for 3 births? Any one of you? That is where Bhagavatam comes into picture. If somebody is a pure devotee, you offend a pure Bhagavata. All of this is related to Bhagavata. Bhagavatas. Bhagavan means Narayana. Bhagavata means one who is completely surrendered to Narayana. If you offend them, either with your words or with your actions, the consequences can be very, very bad. When Brahma was asked to start creation, in the beginning, all the Jivatmas, individual souls, soul is always the size of an atom, small atom. 10 power minus 8 of a millimeter is the size of an atom. Soul is that small. And these souls do not have bodies to wash off their karma, either to do bhakti or sharanagati. So Bhagavan, out of his kindness, hey, are you listening to me? He is looking at your watch. You are doing something, he is watching that from. You ask the question, you better listen. So, Narayana, out of his kindness, wanted to give all of us some body, so that we can wash off our sins and go to Vaikuntha. So he created Brahma. Brahma was asked to start creation. That time there was no man, woman to get children. Brahma got the special power. With his mind he is thinking, let there be, okay, I am going to create four wonderful people. 4 people appear. They are called the Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, Sanat Sujata. Brahma asked them, okay, get into family life, start giving bodies to the Jivatmas. You know what they said? Hello, we are not stupid like you. We don't want to get entangled in the samsara bandhas. We want to go directly to Narayana, not to Swargam. They went to Vaikuntha. As they came to Vaikuntha, at the entrance, there are 4 entrances. At every entrance there are 2 gatekeepers. At the entrance these 4 Kumaras went. These Kumaras, usually to go to Vaikuntha, people are very old, thousands of years, grown up, white hair, white beards. But these are like 5-year-old kids. Just 5-year-old kids. They assume the form of 5-year-old kids. Did Sharanagati, went to Vaikuntha. But the gatekeepers, unfortunately, did not recognize them, and they objected to their getting into Vaikuntha and stopped them. Those 4 boys got annoyed. It looks as though you are thinking physical appearance only is the qualification for Vaikuntha. You are not looking at our spiritual merit. So you are unfit to be here. Better take birth on the planet Earth and wash off your sin. When they fell at their feet and asked for forgiveness, Narayana himself came to the door, asked for forgiveness to those 4 Kumaras, and because they are gatekeepers who served him for so long, he said, they are Mahatmas, you offended them. I can commute your curse, but I don't want to, out of respect for them. But I can give you a concession, small concession. Do you want to be my devotees for 7 births and then come back to my service? Or do you want to be my enemies for 3 births and come back here? They said, we cannot bear separation from you for 7 births. We are okay to be your enemies because we want to come back to you and serve you in 3 births. But only one request. Every time you should come and kill us. We prefer to die in your own hands. I said, all right, I'll do it. Because loyalty, loyal employees, boss is always nice to them. Even if they make mistakes sometimes. Got it? Simple. So their first birth as a Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Bhagavan has to take 2 incarnations as Varaha to kill Hiranyaksha, as Narasimha to kill Hiranyakashipu. Their next birth, Ravana and Kumbhakarna. Narayana has to come as Rama to kill. And what is their next birth? 3rd one. Good. Most often people think Kamsa, Duryodhana, no. They are not even that qualified to be king by Krishna. They are Shishupala and Dantavata. Bhagavan has to come as Krishna and kill them. Good. That is their curse. So, Bhagavata Apacharam, one should never do. Bhagavatas are that great. In Bhagavatam, there are many such instances. There was a great Bhagavata, Ambarisha. Durvasa came. Durvasa got angry with Ambarisha because Ambarisha had a glass of water to break his fast of his tradition. Durvasa got annoyed, created a fire-spitting demon to kill Ambarisha. Ambarisha did not even say anything except Narayana, that's all. Sriman Narayana sent the Sudarshana Chakra. Sudarshana Chakra came and killed that fire-spitting demon. Then came to punish Durvasa. Durvasa is a Brahmashi, son of Atri and Anasuya, but still could not protect himself with all his religious merit. He went to Brahma asking for protection. Brahma could not give him protection. He went to Shankara asking for protection. Shankara could not give him protection. He went to Narayana to asking for protection. Narayana said, why should I protect you? He did not say, I cannot protect you. He said, why should I protect you? You offended a great Bhagavata Ambarisha. You better die. He begged, is there any way I can survive? Go back to the same Bhagavata whom you offended. Ask for forgiveness. If he can forgive, then only you can survive. Durvasa has to come back and fall at the feet of Ambarisha and ask for forgiveness. So we should never offend Bhagavatas. Bhagavan means Narayana, who is exactly the same as Narasimha, Rama, Krishna, Tirupati, Balaji. Bhagavatas, one who is completely surrendered to Krishna, Narayana, Rama. Okay. You do that, even Narayana is not forgiven. Many instances, Narayana would not have killed Hiranyakashipu, but Hiranyakashipu offended a great Bhagavata, Prahlada. So that is the reason why Bhagavan came and killed him. Same thing. Rama would not have killed Ravana, but he did great apachara to Mahalakshmi, to Sita, abducting her, torturing her. So he has to kill. Not only that, Vibhishana is a Bhagavata. Mahalakshmi is also a Bhagavata, but his own brother Vibhishana is a Bhagavata. Ravana literally kicked him out of his kingdom. So Bhagavan has to punish him. Same thing. If we do Bhagavath Apacharan, Bhagavan will not forgive us. That great are Bhagavatas. Worshipping Bhagavan is great, but worshipping his devotees is even better. And worshipping the Acharya who helped you to become a Bhagavata is the best. Good, better, best. Good. Next question.
Swamiji, about the Ashwamedh Yajna, the process we understand it's a huge process. But some places in the English translation is the horse sacrifice.
Yeah.
That totally becomes a different meaning when you try to explain somebody that king did the horse sacrifice.
1,000 horse sacrifice.
So, how can we, have a clear mind or explain somebody?
So the question is, the present day Ashwamedha Yaga is very loosely translated as killing a horse. In the original Vedic mantras or the Vedic procedures, there was no physical killing of the horse, taking a big sword and cutting it. No, it's not there. It's not there. Clap like this, sound. This sound is not capable, this frequency is not capable of finding out whether she is pregnant or not, whether she is having a baby girl or baby boy is not. But you change the frequency of the sound to ultrasound, then that ultrasound probe can see into her stomach, whether she is pregnant or not, and the baby is boy or girl, it can see. So it is the sound frequency, got it? Ultrasound. The frequency is different. At ordinary audible frequencies, it cannot see what is inside. But when the frequency changed to ultrasound, it can see what is inside you. Same thing, the power of sound. The Vedic mantras were such. In the good olden days, people became so perfect in chanting the mantras, they come to the horse and they chant the mantras in its ear. Because of your papa karma, you have taken birth as a horse. Now, as part of this Vedic procedure, we need to offer your diaphragm between your stomach and your chest, the fine layer that is separating the diaphragm. So, are you prepared to sacrifice yourself for us to complete this yajna? And in return for your sacrificing yourself, we pray that next time you will not become an animal, you will become a human being. That is the power of song, mantras. And for that, the horse itself fell down dead. Then the butcher will come, cut open its stomach. Then the priest will take a thorny bush and will run over its intestines so that the thin cheesecloth, you know cheesecloth, right? That thin cheesecloth, the diaphragm, the layer of fat that is there above the intestines and separating the chest. They just run the thorny bush on that so that layer will stick to the thorns. They will bring it and hold on to the fat. And the fat for the heat will melt and drop in the Purvarasha. That completes the yajna. But the way it is loosely translated, Ashwamedha Yagam, horse is to be killed. That was correct. But as days passed on, people, because of their greed for money, because of their attachment to the flesh, that is after their heaven, the power of their mantras have gone. They are chanting the mantras, but the horse is not falling down dead. So they say, oh, how can you complete the sacrifice if the horse is not dead? Anyway, it is not dead, alright, kill it. That is when the sacrifices are banned. But in the original sacrifices, there is no physical killing. There is no physical killing. That is the power of mantras. Power of mantras, you can see that very easily. You can see that very easily. Every time the same thing happens. Every time. But unfortunately, we are not practicing it in the right way, so we don't know the value of it. Even now, you can see for yourself. You practice the Ashtakshara mantra, you will see the change in yourself. You practice chanting that Dvaya mantra, you will see the change in yourself. It all depends. Very simple, sir. Somebody is a surgeon. Even after 20 years, he is still clumsy to put the stitches. Some doctors, within not even a couple of cases, they put such fine threads, nobody will even know there was surgery done. Correct. Some surgeons, they will put it, oh, you will see the skin so rough, right? Same thing. The art of surgery is well practiced by them. Some of them they don't practice. But they do surgery. Same thing happened here in Ashmarya. That is when people said, no more this thing. So these days, if he has to do Ashmarya, they will not bring a physical horse. They will bring a toy horse made with rice flour. And then they will do that one and then do Purorasha. Because neither the people who are practicing the mantras are that capable of chanting the mantras and making the horse fall down there. Or the people are willing to do that. Therefore, they change the procedure. That's why they are not doing sacrifices these days. Next question. You still want to be a guru? Very difficult, right?
Very difficult. Lots of restrictions.
Yeah. Suppose you apply for the job of a sales girl in CVS pharmacy, right? You apply for a job as sales girl in CVS pharmacy. Your interview is only 2 minutes. Did you pass 10th grade? Oh yeah, I passed 10th grade. The customer came, bought Tylenol for $6.50. He gave $10. How much you have to give back? Oh, I know, $3.50. Oh, very good, very good. You come and join tomorrow morning, right? Your interview is over. But you apply for the job of Bank of America General Manager. You apply for the job of Bank of America General Manager. 4 interviews, 6 personal interviews, your background check, your credit check, your criminal record check, right? And again, physical appearance on the job, how do you mingle with other people, your body language, how you can coordinate with other people. You know what you are asking? What is this? I went for a sales girl job in CVS pharmacy, 2 questions and 2 minutes interview, I got the job. Now for the past 6 months you have been interviewing me. 6 months, 4 interviews, 3 personal interviews, and background check. When are you giving the job? You know what you'll say? Yeah. Madam, that is a CVS pharmacy sales girl. This is General Manager Bank of America. Same thing. So it just shows what you want to do. Go ahead, next question. Emma, what else you want to know? That is the greatness of Bhagavathas. You become a pure Bhagavata. Bhagavata means exactly like a Hanuman, exactly like a Garuda, exactly like Garuda. Garuda. You know what is the distance between Vaikuntham to planet Earth? You know the diameter of Earth? 108 times the diameter of Earth. 108 times the diameter of Earth is the distance between ourselves and the Sun. Beyond the Sun is Vaikuntha.
So is it in like space? Is that what you're saying?
Garuda, Narayana said, Garuda, that king elephant is in trouble, is in distress. I got a 911 call. That Garuda prayed to Narayana. It was caught by a crocodile. Narayana said, Garuda, get ready. Yes, sir. What is the time? 1 second. To cross millions of miles in 1 second. And you know what Narayana did? Even though Garuda is crossing the millions of miles in 1 second, Narayana said, Garuda, you are taking too long. You don't know how to go fast. Shall I teach you? Narayana got down from Garuda, held Garuda by the neck, and see how I'll tell you what is going fast. And in half a second, Narayana came to rescue Gajendra. That kind is Bhagavan Narayana. Then you become a Bhagavata. You understand the greatness of Bhagavathas.
So, how to stay disciplined in waking up early, for an example, or doing your puja, right? You explained that early in the morning, that's the Brahma Muhurtam, and you should be doing X in X time, you should be doing Y in those 48 minutes.
First you do Sharanagati, then we'll explain it. First you join a medical school, then we'll teach you anatomy, physiology, microbiology, and then we'll take you to the operating room. You didn't even join the medical school, and you're asking, can you show me how to open up the brain and then do neurosurgery? What can I do? Oh, sure, we'll teach you. But first, because you should know, right? You should know how to proceed, right? Suppose you say...
I mean, I know, right?
Suppose you... That is your problem again. You started with I know. That is a problem. You don't know. That is a reality. So the question is, you joined yesterday medical school, even if you joined, and the next day you went to your professor and said, Sir, I'm not interested in all this physiology, microbiology, anatomy, no. I want to become a neurosurgeon. Take me directly to the operating room and teach me how to do surgery. Hello? You joined only yesterday. First know anatomy, do physiology, all these things. Then do residency. Then do general surgery. Then we'll talk about neurosurgery. They don't become neurosurgeon overnight. Nobody becomes neurosurgeon overnight. 4 years of medical school, 3 years of residency, 4 years of general surgery, 4 plus 3, 7 plus 4, 11. After that, neurosurgery again for 3-4 years. As she says, she wanted to become a guru. Now she says, too difficult for me. Too difficult for me. Very simple. How old are you? You said 13, right? In a couple of years, you will come to high school. You have 3 choices. You are a lazy girl. Don't even want to take SAT, just to have nice time in the high school. If you passed your high school, of course you can get admission to a community college only. But if you work a little bit hard, and you get some 1200, 1300, then you can go to a state university, Rutgers, Sony Group, etc. But if you want to go to Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Yale, you need to get 1580, 1590 out of 1600. Your choice. Whether you want to go to community college, fine, go. You want to go to state university, go, no problem. You want to go to Harvard, MIT, are you listening? You cannot say, Mom, it is very difficult, Mom. I can't make it to Harvard, Mom. I can't make it to MIT, Mom. Mom cannot help you. Mom cannot take your SAT. Uddhare atmanatmanam atmanam osavye. You have to help yourself. Either for physical prosperity or for spiritual elevation, you have to work for yourself. At the most, your dad can pay the fees, but he cannot take SAT for you. As simple as that. If you are there in the primary school, you call him, my teacher, my teacher, my teacher. You come to high school, oh, my physics master, my math master, he told me, ma'am. You call him teacher, then master. You go to college, oh, my lecturer told me. You go to university, my professor told me. You join PhD. No teacher, no master, no lecturer, no professor. My research guide. He is a guide to you. The guide will not do your work. You have to do the work, but he will guide you. This is the topic that will give the result. This is how you should proceed. He will guide you. Here it is instruction. A teacher, a master, a lecturer, a professor. But there, you have a guide. Your choice. You are happy with primary school? No problem. You are happy with high school? No problem. You are happy with college? No problem. You want to do PhD? Your choice. You have a choice. You can go to community college. Right? You know community colleges, right?
Yes.
You have a choice. You can go to state universities, right? You have a choice. You can go to Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Yale, right? Stanford. Your choice. Same thing. Go ahead. Nobody wants to talk to me. Yes, sir.
Ram, Krishna, and a lot of other are all Vishnu's avatar, right? So why we are not worshipping Vishnu directly and Krishna only?
Can I ask you one thing? Is your wife sitting next to you? Can you come here for a minute? Just sit next to you. Emma, today your husband is there in a pants and a shirt. You say, you look nice in the pants and shirt. You take a picture and we'll keep in the bedroom. Tomorrow he is doing a puja. He is wearing a dhoti. Did you get a new husband? Same husband. Same husband in different clothes. And you say, you look nice in the dhoti also. Then you take another picture and keep in your bedroom. Day after tomorrow he is going for jogging. A t-shirt and a shorts. Right? Did you get a new husband?
No.
No, I see. So you say, you look nice in the shorts also. You take another picture and you will keep in the bedroom. Correct? Next week he is going for an office meeting, 3-piece suit. You didn't get a new husband. You say, you look nice in the 3-piece suit also. You take that picture also. So for the one husband, whether you keep his picture in the bedroom, in a pants and a shirt, or in a dhoti, or in t-shirt or shorts, or in a 3-piece suit, either one picture or all 4 pictures, it is the same husband. Got it?
Got it.
You got the answer?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, whether you are worshipping him as Rama, you are worshipping him as Krishna, you are worshipping him as Narasimha, you are worshipping him as Tirupati Balaji, you are worshipping him as a standing form Vishnu, or you are worshipping him as a Shantakaram Bhujakashainam, lying down on the bed of Adisesha in the ocean of milk. You are worshipping the same husband in different attire. One day in pants, one day in dhoti, one day in t-shirt, one day in 3-piece suit. Same. There's nothing wrong. That's why they say, Jag mein hai do sundar naam, chahe Ram kaho, chahe Shyam kaho. It is not that there is any difference between Rama or Krishna. Their dress is different. He came in the dress of Rama that time, he came in the dress of Krishna that time. They are one and the same. So whether you worship Vishnu, fine. You worship Narayana, fine. You worship Krishna, fine. As long as it is Sharanagati, like a Pativrata sticking only to one husband, guaranteed moksha. Right? Go ahead, man. No questions.
Swamiji, who created Shiva? I mean, Brahma was created by Vishnu, but when it comes to Shiva, who created Shiva?
Is it important for you? I may be hurting.
No, I'm not saying this for the...
According to Bhagavatham, read Raghuvira Gadyam by a Mahatmya called Vedanta Deshika, where he says, Chaturmukheshwara Mukhaihi Putra Pautradisharine Namasita Sametaya Ramaya Grahamedhine. Looks like you are the only elder person I can ask, sir. Sir, you have a son?
Me? Sure. Yes, sir.
You have a grandson also?
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Narayana created Brahma. After creating the four Kumaras, when the four Kumaras refused to obey Brahma and went to Vaikuntham, Brahma got very angry. You fellows, my firstborn, you don't even listen to me, and you don't take part in creation, and you want to go to Vaikuntham? He was angry. And how long she can be angry with him? She cannot control that excited state. So what will she do? She will call it idiot, rascal, stupid. So she has to come down, she has to spend that extra energy, come back to ground state. How long Brahma can be angry with his own son, sports girls? So that anger personified, Raudra means anger. From the center of the eyebrows of Brahma, Shankara was born. Therefore, they say, for Narayana, if Brahma is the son, Brahma's son Shankara is the grandson. Chaturmukha Brahma, Ishvara Shankara, Chaturmukheshwaram Putra Pautradisharine. If one is a son, another is a grandson. He has a son, he has a grandson. Sometimes the grandson looks exactly like the grandfather. And in the good olden days, some people name their son after their father. That means the grandfather's name, sometimes they give to the
junior.
Yes.
Junior.
Like exactly.
It's here only also.
Here they call junior, sub-junior, or
Yes.
like that.
Paul,
Right?
Junior Paul.
So sometimes the grandson, he may have the same name as the grandfather.
Right.
Or sometimes the grandson may look almost the same as the grandfather. But you know, when the grandson is 2 years old, he will go to the grandfather and ask, Grandpa, how come you have my name? It is not that the grandfather took the name of the grandson. It is the grandson who was given the name of the grandfather. But what is the 2-year-old asking the grandfather?
Why did you take me?
Exactly. Why did you take my name? What will the grandfather say? He will be angry with him? No, he'll smile and say, it's okay, beta. It's okay, beta. You are so nice, I took your name. That's all he will say. He will not fight with you. It's okay, beta. You are so nice, I took your name. And then he becomes 4-year-old. Now he knows how to compare the physical features. 2-year-old only knows the name. 4-year. How come, Grandpa, you are looking like me? How come you are looking like me? Same thing. Therefore, the relationship between Narayana, Brahma, Shankara is that of a grandfather, son, and a grandson. To come to that particular level, a 2-year-old or 4-year-old cannot even understand. And to understand that why, if suppose until this lady becomes what you call a PhD in genetics or the decoding the DNA, which characteristic was there for the grandson to be a replica of the grandfather, at that level only she can understand. For the rest of us, the grandson looks like the grandfather. But what actually has gone into that transition of these genes, etc., she has to decode the entire genome. Then she will know which one was it that made exactly like a carbon copy. You know carbon copy, right? Exactly. A Xerox copy. So, but at ordinary level, if she says, how can I understand? No, it's not very possible. But if she does PhD in say genetics, decoding the genes, etc., then she can understand. Then she will pinpoint, okay, this particular chromosome is the one, this particular gene is the one. Until then, you simply accept the reality.
Sorry, I have a question here. So, like certain attributes are not natural, right? Such as humility. which is something not like a natural, it is, by virtues of your devotion or many years, of your attributes, it's rewarding. So this is just an example. So similarly, how one can develop the surrender to Krishna? Is it like natural or spontaneous, or you can develop it? Because I feel like to be surrender to Krishna, one has to be egoless, contamination-free, and have no self-pride. Then only you can completely surrender to Krishna. Because one jest I can get is, if we are constantly surrendered to Krishna, no matter when death comes, Krishna would still, take away our sins or, accept us. So for that remedy, could you please elaborate on, is this something can be cultivated or spontaneous, and how it goes?
You want to answer that? Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavanam prapadyate. This man became a millionaire. Overnight he did not become a millionaire. Every day he kept something like a kiddie bank. Every day he is putting $1, $2, $5, $10, $20 every day. And after 30 years when he opened up, it became $1 million. Overnight he did not get million. Bahunam janmanam ante. Bahuvachanam in Sanskrit. One, ekavachanam, only one. Two, dvivachanam. Bahu means plural, more than two. It could be 3 birds or it could be 3,000 birds. So in all those Bahunam Janmana, it could be either 3 birds or 3,000 birds. He accumulated what? Jnanam. Jnanam means the real knowledge. Real knowledge means MSc Physics or MD, MBA. These knowledge is Udara Nimittam Bahupakadesham. To feed the stomach only, these are the ones. Jnanam, go back to Krishna. Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanaham. The real knowledge is to know the relationship between Atma and the Paramatma. Over thousands of birds, it could be 3 birds or 3 million birds, he accumulated that jnana. And when that jnana came to be a million, then he is buying $1 million house. If that man says, I am also doing the same job as him, but this man got $1 million house, I could not, because he was saving that $1 million for the past 20 years. He just started saving only for the past 2 years, so he did not accumulate. So, after thousands of births of your accumulated jnana, you will come to the conclusion, I have done jnana yoga, could not attain Krishna. I have done karma yoga, did not become perfect. Did bhakti yoga, did not become perfect. When everything fails, at least let me do Sharanagati. That realization has come only after thousands of births. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Then only people do Sharanagati. If this guy did Sharanagati, it doesn't mean physically he may be some 34 years old. But the soul is not 34 years old. It is a trillions of years old. It acquired that jnana, $1, $2 at a time, over 1 million births to make it 1 million. Then he did Sharanagati. Then if you do that, what is that jnana means? Vasudeva Sarvamiti. That Krishna is the all and end all for me. And that he comes only after thousands of years. And if you get it, some Mahatmya Sudurlabha, that kind of a Mahatma is very rare to come across. Your choice. Better make a beginning. If not, you don't even make a beginning. How can you become a millionaire? Same thing here. Same, again it is a catch-22. Catch-22. He is a mad fellow. What is he mad after? He wants a girl to enjoy. But who will give a girl in marriage to a mad fellow? Unless his madness is cured, he will not get married. But unless he gets married, his madness will not be cured. So you tell me what is first? He is a mad fellow. Nobody, will you give your daughter to a mad fellow? No. So unless he gets married, his madness will not be cured. Good. But unless the madness is cured, he cannot get married. So what is first, what is next? You should strike a balance. In spite of my madness, if I expect Aishwarya Rai to come and marry me, she will not come. Therefore, let me find a girl who is still willing to marry me in spite of my madness and get married, then your madness will be cured. So if you say, once I acquire jnanam, I will do, it's not going to happen. In spite of all my weaknesses, let me do Sharanagati now. At least by my efforts, I tried for 1 million verse Kirna. At least by doing Sharanagati, with Krishna's mercy on me, I am getting salvation. Therefore, better do Sharanagati, even if you are not 100% perfect, because we can never become 100% perfect. That is, the human weaknesses are there. What is the best example for that? Do you remember I told you many times? Vishwamitra is the best example. Valmiki Ramayana, Vishwamitra is the best example. Vishwamitra is not an ordinary person. He did tapasya for thousands of years. But as you say, self-pride, you know who I am, got into bitter arguments with Vasishtha. You know, Vishwamitra literally killed all the sons of Vasishtha. Vasishtha did not retaliate. When Vasishtha did not retaliate, Vishwamitra realized how stupid I am. Where is the status of Vasishtha? Where is after all my status? Out of my ego, I went to fight with Vasishtha and killed all his sons. In spite of that, Vasishtha did not retaliate. That is Brahmash. So he lost all his spiritual power. Again went back to meditation. This time a challenge came. Can you send Krishanku to Swargam? Vishwamitra, out of his ego, accepted the challenge. And again sent Krishanku to Swargam. And Krishanku pushed him down. Indra pushed him down. Then Vishwamitra spent all his religious merit to create a second Swargam for Krishanku. Lost his merit. Again Vishwamitra came to meditation. This time another challenge came. Can you do whatever you can? Make Harishchandra tell a lie. Again Vishwamitra took the challenge. Did every unimaginable act to force Harishchandra to tell a lie, including making him lose his kingdom, including making him end up as a crematorium in charge to burn the dead bodies there. But Harishchandra did not tell a lie. So in that process he lost all his spiritual merit. Again he came back to meditation because of the ego. You remember? That self-pride has to go to do Sharanagati, you're right, but it won't go. Then again Vishwamitra went to meditation. This time another challenge came. Menaka came into his life. Not one day, not 2 days. 10 years Vishwamitra spent with Menaka. He didn't even know 10 years have gone by. And in the 10 years he even got a daughter with Menaka, Shakuntala. After Shakuntala's birth, one day Vishwamitra early morning got up and was running. Menaka said, why are you running so fast early in the morning? It is daybreak time, sunrise. I should go take shower and do Sandhya. Menaka started laughing again. He got annoyed. Why are you laughing? I'm only going to take bath and do my morning prayers. You know what she said? Sir, every day you are supposed to do Sandhya Vandanam 3 times a day. Now this 10 years you did not do Sandhya Vandanam. Then Vishwamitra, my God, Every day 3 times. In 1 year, 1080 times. In 10 years, 1080 times 10. 10,800 times I missed my Sandhyavandanam. Thank you, Bhimata, thank you. I had enough of you. And again he went back to meditation. This time Vishwamitra thought, any amount of my meditation, because that ego is not going, that self-pride is not going, did not help me. Lost all my spiritual merit with a fight with Vasishtha, lost all my merit in sending Krishna to Swarga, lost all my merit in troubling Harishchandra, lost all my merit because of Menaka. The best way, do Sharanagati. Where to do Sriman Narayana? Where is he? Why somewhere? Right now as the son of Dasharatha. That is why Vishwamitra came to Dasharatha. Send me your son. Not that Vishwamitra, he can just take any one of his students and would have done the operation with the mantras. And the student would have protected the yajna. Only to do Sharanagati. So he brought Rama. Yajnam was a pretext only. Then he wanted to say, oh my God, if I have to do Sharanagati, first I must do at the feet of Mahalakshmi, then only Narayana. So Rama is not yet married. So I need Mahalakshmi. So where is she? Over there, as Sita in Janaka's palace. Imagine. Can I say, I will conduct a summer camp for all the kids so that they won't trouble you in the house, right? Summer holidays. Send me to summer camp. And I bring all the kids for 2 weeks, say, teach Bhagavad Gita or Ramayana. After 2 weeks, shall I not send the kids back to you? Can I get them married after 1 week in a summer camp? And that too without even informing the parents? That's what Vishwamitra did. Over there, Dasharatha is crying. For 60,000 years I did not have children, only Rama is born. How can I live without Rama? What did Vishwamitra do? He took them for 7 days of protecting. After 7 days of yajnam, should not Vishwamitra bring Rama back to Dasharatha and say, thank you, you got a great son, he did a great job, right? No. Let Dasharatha cry for a few more days. He took Rama all the way to Mithila to get him married. It is none of his business to get Rama married, right? It is none of Vishwamitra's business to get Rama married, correct? This is a father, mother, right? He brought Rama to protect his yajna. But what did Vishwamitra do? Without even informing Dasharatha, he took Rama to Mithila, to Shivadharma Sangam. Shivadharma Sangam, Sita is ready to put the garland, right? You know what Rama said? I cannot marry. Why? I have to follow Dharma. My father has to be there to accept the Kanyadana. Then only I will marry. Then Janaka asked, then why did you do Shivadharma Sangam? Because my Guru Vishwamitra asked me to do it, I did it. Then why don't you marry? My father has to accept the Dhanam Kanyadana. Then only. So, Vishwamitra brought Rama to Mithila, not for anything other than doing Sharanagati. And the minute Dasharatha came, the Kanyadana is done. Vishwamitra saw both the divine couple, Sita and Rama, next to each other as wedded wife and husband. In Valmiki Ramayana Balakanda, there are 1,000 verses describing the activities of Vishwamitra. His fights with Vasishtha, Trishanku, Harishchandra, Menaka, etc. But the minute Sita and Rama got united in marriage, only one verse, just one verse, Vishwamitra achieved what he wanted and retired to Mandharagiri to spend a calm life because guaranteed moksha. As you said, that self-pride will not go that easily. Better do Sharanagati. By God's grace, by Krishna's grace, we will be able to overcome that. Otherwise, if we say, when all my pride is gone, I will do. Is it clear? But the question is, why people don't do it? Because they don't want to become vegetarians. They don't want to eat only prasadam that is offered to Krishna. And they don't want to follow the most important principle, Merito, Girkar, Gopal, Vishwanath. They are the three stumbling blocks. If you can overcome them, anybody can do. No questions asked. Whether you're a Brahmin, non-Brahmin, no questions asked. Man, woman, no discrimination. How many mistakes you made? No. But from today, can you live like a Pativrata with one husband? Put it. Go ahead. No questions? Okay, we'll go on. If there is no question, then why should we stay there? You keep asking, we'll stay the whole night.
So, one question. Why do we have casteism in our religion, right? Like the Brahmin, the Kshatriya and all that.
There is a difference between material activities and spiritual activities. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra are the material activities on this platform. And that too, Krishna never said it is by birth. It is by quality. Say that. Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. Guna, your characteristics. Karma, the actions you do. This man is born as a Brahmin, but he is doing alcohol business, wine shop he is running. In what way he is a Brahmin? His karma doesn't qualify him. It is not by birth. The material activities in a hospital, it is a hospital. What is the job of a hospital? To treat the patients. But do you mean to say all employees in a hospital are treating the patients? Only the medical staff, the medical doctor, the nurses, etc., they treat. But in a hospital there is a computer staff also. The job of a hospital is to treat the patients. But for the hospital to run properly, if you say, I only have doctors and nurses, who will program all your computers? You need some people to clean the bathrooms and the floors also. Medical staff alone is not enough to run a hospital. You need some cleaning people also, some janitorial work also, for the rooms to be cleaned, bathrooms to be cleaned, etc. Is that enough? You need some kitchen also to feed all the people. You have a hospital, no doubt. Your main job is, suppose this man is the CEO of a hospital. Can he say, I want to run a hospital? Only medical doctors and nurses, no one else. It won't work. So for the hospital to run properly, you need the medical staff, you need the technical staff, you need the, the day-to-day working staff, you need the programming staff, all these people. Same thing, material activities. As far as spiritual activity of moksha, it doesn't matter whether you are a Brahmana, Kshatriya, everybody is equally eligible. So you should not confuse the material job description to spiritual job description. This job description is there, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Guna, Karma, Vibhagasha, is on the material platform. You should not equate this. You have two coordinate systems in you, the body coordinate system and the soul coordinate system. Unfortunately, we overlap them and confuse that they are one and the same. No. Spiritual life means how to separate out the material coordinate system from the spiritual coordinate system.
So would it be fair to say that unfortunately ignorance has led majority of the masters to create this? Because Shastra is almost like a stigma, right? Everyone talks of Hinduism without knowing what the structure was intended to be, but people misinterpreted that and created a lot of division within society. I think that's one of the biggest...
Therefore, in the beginning, you see a medical doctor the minute he is born? No, he was as ignorant as anyone else. Even when he was there in the high school, he never thought he would become a doctor. But when the interest came that he has to go to the school, he has to get trained, and even then he has to practice what all he learned in a medical school or in the residency is not even 10%. But what he really acquired over 30 years of practice is much more than what all he studied in the college or what all he hands on in the 3 years of training. That is only to help you to practice. But the real knowledge comes after you start practicing. But you need basic knowledge how to practice. So,
can I ask you if you could shed more light on two more topics that are always considered controversial? One was the practice of sati, and the second one being women's entry into temples during biological cycle and being prohibited. Unfortunately, even these are kind of seen more as a stigma, but I'm sure most of us are ignorant as to the real reason why this came about.
You love your husband. If somebody asks you to quantify, you cannot.
Right.
Remember the practice of a woman forcibly being burnt at the time of the death of her husband is not a spiritual practice. It is more of a pure love of a wife. She immolated herself along with the husband.
So
voluntarily. Can't believe it? Very simple, sir. Very simple. Very simple. Mahabharata. Panduraja was cursed. You touch your wife, you will die. Kunti and Madri are two wives. One day he could not control himself. He enjoyed with Madri, he died. Kunti did not commit a Sahagamana. Kunti did not do sati, right? Only Madri immolated herself because she felt it is because of me the husband died. And she voluntarily jumped onto the funeral fire, but nobody pushed her. Kunti did not die like that. Forget about Mahabharata. Go back to Ramayana time. Ramayana was 864,000 years before Mahabharata. Dasharatha died. Dasharatha had 3 wives. Kausalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra. None of them committed Sahagamana. None of them committed Sahagamana. All 3. You know why? When Bharata came to the forest begging Rama to return, all 3 mothers came along with Bharata. They did not commit sati. Now, same thing in Mahabharata. Dronacharya died because Dharmaraja told a lie, Ashwatthama Hakara. Dronacharya's wife Krupi did not do sati, but afterwards Ashwatthama became a mentally deranged person because he promised his friend Duryodhana die happily, because Duryodhana was almost about to die with his thighs broken by Bhima. His life did not go away. He is still alive, but cannot move, cannot shout, cannot cry. Vultures are coming and pulling his flesh even when he was alive. In such a miserable state, Ashwatthama saw his best friend Duryodhana and said, Duryodhana, die happily. I will make sure the Pandava dynasty will not be there. Then Ashwatthama did not keep quiet. Old fellows, Pandavas will die if not today, tomorrow. Next generation, Abhimanyu is already dead. My God, Abhimanyu is dead, Abhimanyu's wife is Uttara is pregnant. He shot an arrow onto the unborn fetus. Then finally Krishna came and rescued Parikshit Maharaj. Then he thought, who else are there if Pandava dynasty has to be not be there. After the war was over, on the 18th day night, when Draupadi's 5 children were sleeping, Ashwatthama comes and then cuts off their 5 heads. War is over, not in the war, after the war. The next morning, Krishna, Bhima, Arjuna went and caught hold of Ashwatthama and brought. Even Krishna said, kill this fellow. He doesn't deserve to be called a Brahmin or a teacher's son. Because it is against any rule to kill somebody who is sleeping. Kill him. You know what exactly Draupadi said? Don't do that. I am a mother. When my children are dead, how much I am suffering. The same pain another woman should not go through. Dronacharya is dead. Dronacharya's wife is still alive. If you kill this fellow, you are making another mother cry like me. For God's sake, don't do that. Let this pain be with me, not to another mother. So, what do you know? Dronacharya died, even Acharya level. Dronacharya's wife never committed. Therefore, it has become an unfortunate man-made stigma.
Yeah.
That when your husband is dead, the wife should also die.
And the story we hear is women were pushed into the funeral pyre. That's the case, the story.
These are all aberrations of pure love that was existing. So we cannot take them and blame them. But unfortunately, the mob mentality has come like this. There are many, many instances where women died out of their own love. Whereas when Krishna left the body, Rukmani, Satyabhama, all eat at them, Devi Sahagama. So we have different instances in different places. When it is done purely as an act of love, when the woman felt she can no longer bear the separation of her husband. Don't believe it? No offenses. In Ramayana, when Vali died, this lady Tara, she created a huge scene over there. She cannot live without Vali. She begged Rama, kill me with the same arrow you killed my husband. Kill me, so that I lost my husband. She did not commit suicide, and in not even 2 months, she accepted Sugriva as the husband. Therefore, these are all man-made rules. So we cannot go by that. What else?
I think Shabarimala entry, is that related to you answered earlier, the reason like for women not to be able to enter? Is that related to, you had answered another question, just around the physical attribute?
About what? Monthly cycle?
That also, and also I think, maybe you can correct me.
And also about what?
In Shabarimala temple.
In Shabarimala, in Ayappa.
No, Shabarimala,
women is not about his
ladies of childbearing age. They are not entering as priests. But when men folk accept the mala, etc., they just go with the upper portion not having. That is one reason. Right. Again, that Shabarimala, let's not get into that. There are many, many controversial issues in our literature which have become very much acceptable, but they don't have any spiritual bearing. They don't have. So let's not get into that. Rameshwaram is a big controversial issue. Shabarimala is a big controversial issue. So let's not get into that. As far as the monthly cycle is concerned, it may not be to your liking to hear. Bhagavatham explains very clearly how these things have happened. Sir, you are a medical doctor, right?
No.
Yes, sir. Only human beings, ladies, are having monthly cycle. Are cows, buffaloes, dogs, pigs, do they have monthly cycle?
Animals do have.
But they have, but it is not seen by us. Not the way as the literally physical bleeding, etc. Right?
It does.
Yeah, it does, but not as this thing. The reason I am bringing this is, it may not be to your liking at all. Do you still want to hear? According to the scriptures, even if a priest is bad, you punish him, but don't kill him. That is the scripture. I am not saying all priests are good. But if a priest is bad, punish him, but you should not kill him. Unfortunately, this man wants Riya Puja. He will spend $4,000. He will buy all the material, he will invite the guests, a priest will come in. But this man doesn't know whether the priest, at his expense, he is doing the puja for his benefit or for his own benefit. He can change the mantra and he can get the benefit for himself. You do not know. Same thing happened. One day Indra wanted to do a yajna. He is a traditional priest. Brahaspati was busy. He could not. He accepted another assignment. He could not come. Indra had a half brother, Tvashta. Kashyapa. Kashyapa's one wife Aditi. Aditi's son is Indra and other Devatas. Kashyapa had another wife Diti. her children become Rakshasas. So his own mother's sister's son are these people. Tvashta was born to his mother's sister. He was a qualified priest. He said, my original priest, Brahaspati, is busy. Can you come and be the priest for me and do the yajna? He said. At the expense of Indra doing the yajna, paying for it and doing. Vashta, half the mantras he is chanting for Indra's prosperity, and other half of the mantras he is chanting for his own prosperity, his brothers, etc. We don't know the meaning. Indra knows. Self-pride, anger. He could not control himself. He got mad at his priest and said, I am the one paying. I am the one who spent everything. Instead of chanting for my welfare, you are doing half of the mantras for you and your brothers, who are traditionally my enemies. Because Devatas and Rashas will fight. So when he said that, he could not control himself. He took the Vajrayakam halfway to the yajna. It's okay. Halfway to the yajna, he killed the priest, Vashta. Immediately the Saptarshis came. Now that you committed a heinous crime of killing a priest, you are unfit to sit on the Simhasana as Indra. And they kicked him out. Indra lost his job. But still he is Indra. How to get back his job? There is no remedy. There is no japam. There is no homam. There is no dhanam. There is no prayashchitta. Unless somebody accepts your sin and goes to the punishment.
Oh, sorry.
So what he did, barter system. Indra has plenty of money. He went to all the people and said, I'll give you whatever you want. Will you take my sin of killing a priest? Everybody said, are you stupid? How can we go through that kind of a sin? No. He said, I'll give you millions. No. But selfish interest will be there for some people who are prepared to take that risk. Mother Earth came forward. I cannot take the whole sin of killing a priest. I'll take 25%. But you should give me a boon. Oh sure, thank you for taking at least 25%. What can I give you? He said, people dig me for mining, for ploughing, for plantations, housing, mud, construction, stones, excavations. Whatever it be, I want to have a smooth skin, smooth sheen. If you give me the boon, that even if they dig me, make holes, everything, whether you put a stone or garbage or leaves or anything, I can cover myself and get a smooth sheen. I will take 1/4. That's how she wanted. That's how her desire. Are you not going to beauty parks? Lotion after lotion, cream after same thing. Mother Earth came, granted. But as a result of 1/4 of sin of killing a priest, before you plant a seed, beautiful crops used to come. But because of the sin of going through this one, Brahmacharya dosha, some lands became barren lands. You plant anything, nothing germinates there. It's just a waste barren land. So a portion of the land became barren because of the sin of this one. Second thing, trees personified came. I cut your hand will not grow again. I cut your leg, it will not grow again. Same thing for the trees. You cut a branch, it will not grow again. Those days. You cut a tree, you cut the tree, it's dead. Trees personified came. People are just killing us left and right, cutting out branches, etc. Give us the boon. If the roots are there, even if they cut off the whole trunk, I can still come up. If the branches cut off, other branches to come. Give us that bloom to regenerate and be fresh. We take 1/4 of the sin. Granted, as a result of the sin, some trees, before every tree used to be full of flowers, fruits, some trees have become barren. Some trees are just trees. They will neither have good flowers or fruits, anything. Just trees, that's all. Third one, water personified king. Water personified king. It asks for a boon. we have a peculiar this thing. We want to show that we are great. Unless anything is washed in water, nothing should become pure. Nothing should become clean. Not only that. 1 liter of milk, 1 liter of water. It should become 2 liters. And they cannot even separate. Unless we are added, the quantity cannot grow and the nothing can become clean. You that of course. Then what happened? According to religious things, the foam, the bubbles, water bubbles, it is not water, it is not air. When air, the bubbles will come. That bubbles are impurity for water. Orthodox people, in the good olden days, you go to a restaurant, you know how they used to do? 1 cup coffee, like this, almost bubbles. Orthodox people should never touch, even while taking bath. If you look at the good olden days, religious people going to the river, as the river flows, bubbles will be there. You know what they do? They just push the bubbles away and then only they take bath. So bubbles are forbidden even to take bath. Bubbles are forbidden even to drink. So the impurity of killing, or 25% as the same as killing a priest, has resulted in water becoming foam, which is unworthy for any spiritual purpose. So 75% he got rid of, 25%. Look at any animal, a cow, a dog or anything. The mating between a male and a female is only to get pregnant, and once they are pregnant, they won't mate. Human beings were exactly like that. The relationship between a man and a woman is only to get pregnant and they have a child. And during pregnancy, there's no mixing of male and female. It was like that. But Stritvam, femalehood personified came and begged Indra, we want a boon. Whether it is to get pregnant or not to get pregnant, during pregnancy or after pregnancy, we want to enjoy with men. If you give us that boon, we will take 1/4 of your sin. So I said, won't be present, but that's the truth. Only in human beings our life is like this. Granted, result of 1/4 of the sin. There was no monthly cycle in the good olden days for ladies. In fact, if you look at Parvati, Lakshmi, Vigrahas in temples, Sita, they all have Yajnapavitam. They all have Yajnapavitam. During the time of Gargi, Maitreyi, they all had Yajnapavitam. They studied the Vedas and Upanishads. But as a consequence of killing a priest, Brahmahatya Doshan, the sin resulted in the monthly cycle. And because you have the Brahmahatya Doshan, study of the Vedas, Yajnapavitam, is for Brahmajnana. So you have the sin of killing a Brahmahatya. So you are forbidden from study of the Vedas. You are forbidden from becoming a priest. You are forbidden from Gayatri, Yajnapavitam. That is the reason why during their monthly cycle, they said, son, only 2 places don't get in. One, the prayer room, another the kitchen, because these 2 are very important. For the spiritual matters, as I said, ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi. Only when the food is pure, your mind will be pure. Therefore, no kitchen activities during those 4 days, and no prayer activities during those 4 days. That's how it is. But to explain these things in public is rather difficult, because not everything will stand for logic.
No, thank you.
Sometimes people say, look here, logic won't work here. Because they are realities. Realities are beyond the logic. Logic is to understand how certain phenomena are. So this is only to understand.
I had the Tulsi Ramayana is different than Valmiki Ramayana. If I understand right, when Valmiki Ramayana was written, he was present in that yuga or that period.
Valmiki was there,
That's my understanding.
He was, otherwise...
Yeah, I'm just saying, so it's a first-hand information.
Not only first-hand, except Uttarakanda of Ramayana.
Yeah, that is what I was...
Balakanda, Ayodhya-kanda, Aranya-kanda, Kishkinda-kanda, Sundarakanda and Yuddha-kanda, 6 chapters of Ramayana were composed before Rama was born. Only the Uttarakanda after Rama's birth. Okay. So that is why traditionally Ramayana they stop only with Pattabhishekam of Rama. Uttarakanda is after that. How did he know? We are sitting here. How do I know? She may be thinking. What is the time, sir? 7:30. 7:30. How long you will continue? I'm hungry. At least I have to go and have my tea. Will you stop it? I don't know what she is thinking. Valmiki got the boon from Brahma that Valmiki can even peep into the mind of everyone and exactly write what they are thinking at that time. The present day, some people interpret Kaikeyi is a Mahatmya. She knew Rama is Narayana. His purpose is not to stay in Ayodhya to go and kill Ravana. So she played the drama and sent Rama. That's how some people from Ramayana has written. Valmiki Ramayana, Vasishta, Sumantra, everybody comes. What a shame on you that you are here. You are an unimaginable sinner. Including her own son Bharata says, I should have killed you for what you have done. But I am afraid of Rama. Whatever be the mistakes of a woman, just as whatever be the mistakes of a priest, you punish them, but you do not kill them. Whatever be the sins of a mother, you punish her, but not kill her. That is why I am not killing you. That's what Kaikeyi was. So, Valmiki was given the special boon of peeping into the brains of everyone, how they behaved, what their thought process was in Ramayana. That is the standard. The rest of them, they have their own versions.
The question I had that some people say that this Agni Pariksha of Sita is not in Valmiki.
You are right. Not only Agni Pariksha, sir. If I say you, so many things are not there. Are you ready for them? You will be so confused tonight and you will not sleep. If suppose this man becomes a dictator, he cannot control his boss, he cannot control the neighbors, he can only control his poor wife. Because he will just keep quiet whatever he does. So before going to the office, tomorrow morning he will draw a line in front of their door. This is the Lakshmana Rekha for you. You cross this line, I will beat you, I will break your legs, you cannot come in. Poor girl is so scared she will be in the house. In the entire Valmiki Ramayana, there is no Lakshmana Rekha. Original Valmiki Ramayana. Hello, tomorrow if you cross the line, stop this nonsense. There is no Lakshmana Rekha. I don't care about it. So in the original Valmiki Ramayana, but our people made it so popular, Lakshmana Rekha, right? Even a political term. Hey, everybody has a Lakshmana Rekha, nobody should cross.